Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the position wherever you are joining from. My name is Abdul. I will be your host today. And along with me, Vijesh and Shafi, they will be assisting me for delivering the session. If you face any problem in between when we start the session, you can always post the issues in the group, like you are not able to join the meeting or you're kicked out of the meeting. You can post your queries in the group. They will be monitoring that. And about the webinar, it's going to be a lab-oriented live session. We'll be demonstrating everything from the scratch. Complete hands-on configuration. I don't believe in PPT stuff, but still few things I will explain with the help of some notes. And I believe in real-time interaction. That means you can stop me anytime and ask questions. You don't need to wait me to finish some topic. Wherever you feel questions, shoot it out. It's an open platform and anybody can interact. It's not like a normal webinar session where I will be only talking. It's a two-directional communication. You can ask any questions. And a complete configuration guide, which I will be posting in the group. Let me just take it out. One second. My WhatsApp is loading. Yes. So this is the link which I will also open right here. Whatever I am discussing today, if you wanted to do the things on your own, all the configuration, the setup and everything will be available here, including all the commands and API codes and everything. So this will be my reference point and this will be your reference point when you are trying the same thing. All right. Okay. I hope you got the configuration guide and it's going to be really fun. I have some negative feedback about my last webinar. Usually I am dragging things and usually our webinar used to take a long time. I'll try to become more engaging and as fun as possible. So you guys can ask questions. As I said, it's going to be really interactive session. And once again, welcome back. So I'll just touch base on what is Genesys.
The link is shared on the WhatsApp or?
Yes, it's on the WhatsApp group. And even if you're not able to figure it out, you send me a message later. I will send you that. Okay. Right now you can focus on the webinar. All right. So today we will be developing a chatbot, a fully functional self-service chatbot with the Genesys platform. So even before going there, let me just tell you what is Genesys Cloud CX. There are a lot of guys who joined in the webinar who already aware about Genesys Cloud. Somebody is requesting annotation request. Please don't do that. Okay, so if you're coming from Genesys background or if you're coming from a Cisco Contact Center Express Enterprise background, Genesys Cloud is a fully managed cloud-based omni-channel contact center as a service platform. When I say contact center as a service, you don't need to have any on-premise setup here. It's completely deployed in the AWS cloud. As a customer, you just access the contact center software through any web browser and you can build everything on top of it. And it basically provides collaboration, communication, and contact center functionalities. Though it has collaboration capability, like you can chat with somebody else, like you can internally in the organization, you can chat, you can make internal calls. Though it is having those functionalities, but it is designed for contact center services. So any enterprise, if they are implementing a contact center solution, they do have a UC setup already in terms of Cisco or Microsoft. And on top of that, they will be implementing Genesys Contact Center specifically for the contact center functionalities. So that's the reason they call it as designed for contact center, though they have calling functionality and telephony functionalities. It's a true omni-channel solution. That means it can have voice interaction like phone calls, like our traditional IVR, messages, which we will be discussing today, email interaction, social media like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram messaging, and SMS interactions. So anything that we, any request that a contact center agent gets, we usually call it as interactions. So interaction is nothing but it can be a call, it can be a message, or it can be a social media stuff. So our specific interaction for today will be a message, like I will be getting a message or the agent will be getting a message. That's what we're going to implement. And the Genesys Cloud CX platform is completely driven by APIs and it is hosted in AWS Cloud. Because of that, integration of that Genesys with any other platform or any other platform to the Genesys integration is much more easier than other contact centers available in the market. Then again, since we have a lot of contact center solution available in the market, why Genesys? Genesys is the leader and number one in the CCaaS industry. That's one of its kind in the planet as of today. This is 2023 Gartner quadrants where Genesys ranked as the number one in the quadrant. So you might be understand, okay, why we are going for Genesys though we have other players there. So Five9 is there, NICE is there, they are equally important. But always as discussed, Genesys is always leading in the market. They have a solid, scalable contact center solution. So this is the right time to learn contact center, how like Genesys contact center, how things are organized there. So this webinar will be helpful for you to get an idea about what is Genesys contact center, and our focus will be building a complete self-service AI robot, AI chatbot, and deploy that in a real website. All right. So that's about the intro.
So,
Any questions, guys?
AJ,
Yeah.
yeah, AJ, the contact center and omni-channel, both are same or different?
So
Because sometimes I'm telling contact center and sometimes I'm telling omni-channel. What is the difference or both are same?
I would say it's the same. So when I say omni-channel means I will have more than one interaction. Like I'll show you that. Okay, I will log in as an agent. A call comes, the agent will get alerted. On the same interface, if a message comes, the agent will get alerted on the same interface without even moving to a different solution. Even in the same interface, if I get an email from the customer, it will be also popped up in the same interface. So if I'm getting all those interaction on the same interface, we usually call it as omni-channel. So today, all the contact centers should be
Center, right?
omni-channel contact center. Yes.
Sorry, is UCCX now an omni-channel too?
UCCX, though they claim it as omni-channel contact center, but we don't have the functionalities, right? You don't have a chat
Exactly.
interaction there.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah.
You said it's
So-
interchangeable.
Yeah. So UCCX technically it's purely designed for the IVR stuff, though they have some extra integration where you can do social media chat or web chat, but it's way too difficult to implement the similar solution with UCCX. Whereas WebEx Contact Center, which is here, which is an omni-channel, they do have the similar functionalities. Five9 is also good in the market. NICE is also leading. So these are the major players, and Amazon Connect is also another player. So all these guys, the cloud-based contact centers are now omni-channel. They support all these type of interactions. Questions, guys?
One more doubt. Yeah, you told like we can use the Cisco IPPBX or something, and for the contact center we can integrate with the Genesys. Correct? Is right understanding?
Yeah, you can integrate, but Genesys will work as standalone product. Okay, so the reason I am asking, when an enterprise is concerned, you will have an IP telephony solution always. Say your requirement is only IP telephony, you don't implement Genesys there. Though Genesys can do a telephony functionality, but we don't usually implement that Genesys there. We go for Cisco or Teams related solution. Genesys will only come if you have a contact center functionality. Yes, of course, it can be integrated with the telephony solution. Like an agent gets the call, it can be routed to Microsoft Teams or Cisco IP phone. But they natively offer WebRTC based interface where agent can simply use their browser to answer the call. So that's it. Just a second, somebody pinged me something. Let me just see that. I hope my audio is clear, right, guys?
Yes, clear.
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead here.
Yeah, the
All right.
recording is on. Right?
Yes.
AJ, one question
Mhm.
regarding you mentioned for the Genesys,
Yes.
they can capable of handling the PBX as well as the call center, right?
Yes.
And how about the Cube, the voice guide? If we have a customer having a PRI or a SIP,
Yes.
is there?
So we have a yeah, of course. Yeah, we have a functionality called SBC integration with the trunk. So you can literally create a SIP trunk from any of your provider, like it can be a Cube or SBC or even your existing call manager or Microsoft Teams. You can create a SIP trunk towards Genesys and then have that communication connected. So you bring your PRI, connect with a Cisco router or whatever PRI device you have, then connect that into the Genesys cloud. So it works in the same way. So you can bring your own carrier. Similar way, they also offer their own integrated carrier, like you can literally buy a DID number from Genesys and configure that for your IVR flows. Or if you wanted to move your own carrier, they call it as bring your own carrier solution. You go with your Cube or SBC along with the PRI or SIP trunk termination.
Fine.
Cool, guys.
And also one more thing, if customer is already having an IP telephonic setup, so do we really need to go with their own telephony, or only we can use the contact center?
Yeah, so I have seen most of the customers, they don't take these functionalities for Genesys. They don't take collaboration and communication from Genesys. They only implement the contact center solution from that. The reason I pointed out they have collaboration and communication, the reason is I can internally chat with the user. I can log into my web interface or Genesys agent interface, which I will show you. And I can chat with other agent, internal colleagues I can chat. But that is not up to the mark. Okay, the collaboration or communication functionalities of Genesys is not designed for that. Okay, so it is designed for a contact center functionality. So once you have a contact center requirement, we usually go with, I don't see any customers, they have only a Genesys solution and they are not using a contact center, only using the telephony features. It is supported, but it is not recommended to go with an enterprise or SMB customers.
Yeah, got it.
Genesys, is it?
Yeah, Genesys, yes. So only we have a requirement of a contact center, then you go for it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Is it like contact center isn't just a voice channel? Is it not like all kind of omni channels like chat, email?
Genesys supports
all
everything. Yeah, Genesys support everything. It supports phone, message, email, social media, and SMS interactions. And by the way, today we will be covering the message part.
And you mentioned it is not good for enterprise level.
No.
Like-
I mentioned it. The calling functionality or the communication functionality, like say for example, you have Microsoft Teams, and your requirement is to have a collaboration. Like you need to collaborate with others in your organization. Though Genesys can do that, but it is not recommended to go with that Genesys solution. I hope that is clear. It's not like I'm not recommending Genesys. Genesys is the #1 product in the market for contact center.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Yeah, they
I
also
just-
they also have the collaboration features, like you can do a video call. Okay, but I don't see anybody's doing a video call using Genesys. That's not the product is designed for. So if you have that functionality, we usually go with WebEx, Zoom, or Microsoft Teams solution, like a video calling, internal collaboration, scheduling some meeting, all those things. Though Genesys has it, we don't use it for that purpose, which is specifically a purpose built for contact center.
Okay.
Cool.
Understood. Yeah.
Cool, guys. Let's move on with today's session. So what we're going to do today is, let me just explain the flow diagram, because when you design any contact center logic, it's always good to go with a proper flow chart. You need to understand, imagine I'm working with a customer. The customer name is called AJ Bank, and that's the scenario I'm putting towards. So in the AJ Bank, they have a requirement saying that right now their call centers are managed by voice agent, purely voice. Somebody can call their IVR number, navigate through the menus, and they can open cases. They can chat with, they can talk to the agent and ask them to open a case, a new request. And then again, they will call them for asking the case update, like what is my last case update. So this is what currently the AJ Bank solution is offering, AJ Bank Contact Center is offering. And they reached out to me saying that, okay, let us implement the new solution there. We need to automate our contact center. Instead of an agent picks up the call and talking to a customer and opening a case or checking the case update and saying that, okay, your case number is this, we have this update on the case. I wanted to completely automate that and giving into a chatbot, so that in my website, in my AJ Bank website, any customer can visit and then they can initiate a chat interaction over there, and that chat will be taken to different menus, and based on the user interaction, we can navigate through different menus and do different type of task. So I will be putting 2 tasks today. It's there is no limit for these things, right? I can implement as many tasks as possible, but the purpose of this webinar, I will be demonstrating 2 things. The first one would be the customer can.
Okay, can I ask one question over here? Sorry for
of course.
disturbing.
Yeah, please.
See, for example, if you have the service now or any application, can we integrate it with this Genesys or no?
That's where we are doing today. We will cover that. Okay, don't worry. We do have a proper ServiceNow integration that's packed up. Don't worry.
It's available in the Cisco also?
Any cloud contact center, if you take today, all the integrations are possible with all standard CRM, because they are all API driven. As long as you understand the API stuff, we will be able to do that. And by the way, we will cover all the APIs today. What is Postman, how to integrate with Postman, all those stuff will be there. Okay, so
okay, sure.
Yeah, so
thank you.
No worries. So as a customer, the customer will comes to my website and I need to have a messenger deployment. Don't worry, I'll show you what is messenger deployment. And the moment it triggers, it says, welcome to AJ Bank Virtual Support Center. Then it also asks, okay, hey, I am some kind of bot. I'm here to help you with 2 tasks. One is view existing case update. Like I have a case, already open a case. That case will have some updates and the customer can query that update through the web chat. So he doesn't want to call an agent or chat with an agent. He can himself go queries, updates, interact with the chatbot, get the case update. Of course, the case will be created in Salesforce CRM. So we need to have that integration created to fetch the case details from CRM, Salesforce. And if for some reason I'm not able to interact with the robot, I wanted to escalate that to a real agent, like a live agent, I can select the second option. Then the chat will be escalated to a live agent where live agent can resolve this. So usually any contact center, when they are modernizing or digitalizing their contact center, this is how you get the requirement saying that, okay, we have this requirement with voice now. We wanted to automate everything with the chatbot. So few things one by one you can start automating, like example I have shown you, right? Taking a case update, or you can even implement creating a new case, or any XYZ task you can automate. Finally, you give an option to connect with a live agent, because any logic fails in between all these tasks, the customer can easily select the second option or whatever last option, like interact with a real human agent. That agent will further assist him. So that instead of having 10 agents to support 100 customers, you can have one agent to support 100 customers. That's where the market is going on. A lot of customers are implementing this. This is a new trend in the contact center market after the AI and other thing coming into picture. All right. So like I said, we have two tasks today. One is opening a case. So to open the case, we have something called natural language understanding. Like you can talk to the agent literally in a human language. That's where the NLU and natural language understanding coming in. So I can ask status of my case. I have an existing case. Sorry. How do I highlight? Yeah. So I can simply chat with the chatbot. I have an existing case. Then my case status. So can you check my case status? Status of my case. These words, when I say to the chatbot, we usually term it as utterances. So the utterances is nothing but the word or the question which I used to ask the chatbot in natural language understanding. So the reason I'm pointing out the utterance, because when we actually configure, there is a section called intent and utterances. So utterances is the input message that a user or a customer gives to a chatbot. This is common for all other platforms. Wherever you're developing a chatbot, though it is Amazon Lex or Google Dialogflow, you still have that utterance concept and intent concept. So don't worry, I will break it down, just an example. Then if I wanted to talk to a live agent, I can simply say live agent, or I can type live agent, or transfer me to an agent. I want to chat with the customer care. Can you transfer? And this is like, there is no limit again, right? I can build as much as possible. I can think about, okay, what are the possibilities? I need to think in the perspective of a customer. What are the possibilities that a customer can question with a chatbot? Based on that, I will be re-implementing and adding all those utterances always. It's always open. We can add any utterances in future as well. It's not like you configure something, it'll always work with that. If I feel like adding additional utterances, I can do that. And there is also a concept called intent miner, where that I can monitor, okay, how a customer actually interact with the user. If a user is saying, okay, customer support agent, he's typing customer support agent, but I don't have an utterance that matches the customer support agent. So it goes to an exception, but I can track that, okay, yesterday a customer came to my, a user came to my chatbot and he was asking customer support. I don't have an intent or the utterance for that. I can create it. So it's highly monitoring solution. We can monitor what customer is interacting. Then based on, you can always improvise your chatbot. And in contact center job scenario, it's like a continuous job. You implement a chatbot or you implement a contact center solution and you move on. That's not the case in the contact center solution. But whereas you're talking about the IP telephony solution, once you have the solution ready, then your involvement will be for some upgrades or some troubleshooting things. But in contact center, it's an ongoing process. There'll be a lot of improvisation required for the contact center solution. Like today, the flow is like this. Tomorrow, you can further improve that. So always that logical thinking will be there behind every contact center. So it's a good place to be in terms of job scenario. You will be always challenged with a lot of industry standard problems, which you can always solve based on your logic. So it's a really good place, and that's where the UC and CC market is going on. So it's always good to learn how the contact center, how to build the flows. That's where we are conducting this webinar today. All right. Any questions, guys, till here?
AJ, one question regarding the Cisco. Let's say for the support wise, the contact center and IP telephony, the support is excellent. And how about this Genesys support?
That's always a question we usually get when customers are moving out of Cisco. They usually say that Cisco tax support is always premium. We don't get that level of support from others. But Genesys is so far so good. The reason I am saying is their product is so stable. So you don't find like a DB replication issues or some service not starting issue. Those type of things wouldn't be there since it's a cloud product. And that's one of the reasons they are top and number one in the market, right? They have implemented all these solutions. Their support is also good. You can always open a case with them. And their community page as well as their documentation so awesome. You get a lot of things in the documentation itself. It's not like a black hole where you are implementing everything and then you will be logged out. You get support, but I cannot compare because I started to in this industry for some time and I worked in Cisco TAC before, so I understand how we usually support customer. That level of support, if you get or not, which I cannot comment now because I didn't experience that. But as long as I understand, when I work with the customer, they provide excellent support. So don't worry about the support stuff. Okay. Okay, so then we distribute into two tasks. So let me quickly explain this thing. So it goes to a task called case status task. Then I'm gonna ask only one input from the customer. So always when you're designing the bot, you should try to minimize the collection process. You don't ask first name, last name, all those things. You can dynamically fetch that. And this, guys, if you're not talking, please mute. I'm getting a background noise somewhere. Yeah. So if the customer is a registered customer, of course, a banking customer will be a registered customer, right? When I open an account with a bank, my details, number, name, first name, last name, date of birth, everything will be there in the bank database. So that's what we are using it. So when the customer enters the mobile number, we're going to take that input. That's the only input we are collecting from the customer. Then we're going to trigger all the flows. We're going to go and send a request to the Salesforce CRM to get the case number. Okay, so we go and request for the case number. Since we are here, I'll show you the Salesforce CRM. This is the Salesforce CRM. We usually get that 1 month trailer for Salesforce. I just requested for a trailer. This is the trailer account. And in that, if you go to the contacts, I have a contact, Rain Jassim, which is my son's name. And there is a mobile number registered. So I need to add all the registered users here. That's how the database things works, right? They will have the database one or the other fashion. In this example, I am using the Salesforce CRM as my customer database. All the customer details, mail, email address, mail, contact number, first name, last name, everything will be added there. I'll also show you how to add one contact, by the way. And there will be cases as well, but don't worry, we will open a new case. And in that case, if you take this example, debit card pin reset issue, if I open that case, somebody will be working on this case. They will be updating the case, right? Issue faces due to some server error. So these are the case update, and customer wants to know what is the case update. So for that, we will be initiating. First, we will send the query to understand what's the case number. Then Chatbot comes and say that, okay, this is your case number. If there is no case, it directs to the direct interaction, like directly go to a chat. Then the agent can say, okay, we don't find any case number. You can route that way. So if it finds a real case, then it's going to get another API call called get case comment by case ID. So I'll be passing a value called case ID and get the case comment. Then if that is successful, I can chat with the customer saying that, okay, this is your case comment, this is your date, and this is the comment. This is what we do. After this, I can again send that back to the beginning NLU process. This is NLU, means natural language understanding. At this block, it waits for user input in natural human language. That's where it comes in. And if the user wish to proceed with the chat with the real agent, he can simply select this option. That means I can type live agent or transfer me. Then it comes to this point. That's a task called transfer to an agent. Then it usually goes to an ACD, which is automatic call distribution, ACD or queue, which is common term in contact center, which is one queue where all the available agents are. We will create a queue, don't worry. So it transferred to the queue, and then it gonna reach to a real agent. So that's where the flow we are gonna discuss today. We will implement all these things end to end. It's gonna take some time because we need to cover APIs, Salesforce integration, and the entire bot building. So come with your coffee and we can have a really productive discussion. Any question in the flow, guys? No question. Are we good?
Last part, AJ, after that.
Little louder, please.
After the last part, right?
Yeah.
After the yes and no, you have that flow where it is going to the agent. So can you talk about the part if because I heard that from agent can also again send some data. They can pull some data via the API, right? So what was that part? The
Yeah,
last part.
so that is called agent scripting. Right now, I haven't included that agent scripting here. So when the interaction alerts to the user, you can design that page where it can. I will show you, but something by the way, but it is not a part of this webinar. It is there. The possibilities are immense. There is no limit because it's an open API platform. As long as you have a logic, you can implement that. I will show you that agent scripting. By the way, you can literally fetch the data and show it in front of the agent. And there is also something called agent assist. So agent assist is something like you are chatting with a real agent and the customer asks saying that, okay, I wanted to reset my password. Sorry. I wanted to reset my password. And if I have a knowledge base article based on that, how to reset the password in front of agent itself, the moment customer asks, that pop-up will be coming. Okay, this is the way you can reset the password. Then I can simply say, okay, these are the way you can reset the password. So that's called agent assist. Google is also having a product called Google Agent Assist Solution CC AI, which will support these things. But by Genesys itself, they have the agent assist solution called Agent Assist Copilot.
Gen AI feature, right?
Yes.
Gen AI.
Yes, right.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so that is not included in this webinar because to implement this, though the flow diagram is small, once we actually implement, get our hands dirty, we'll understand how lengthy it is. Is it clear, guys?
AJ, one doubt.
Yeah.
Suppose the user entry is not matching with the utterances, then
Yeah,
what
good
would be in
question.
that case?
Yeah, so we have exceptions, right? We can say that user, if it is not matching, there is a built-in mechanism to handle that. Hey, I'm not able to understand what you're saying. I can do this. So you need to properly draw. This is the reason I have given this way. Hey, I am AJ Bot and it's saying, I can help you with these two things. Okay, you shouldn't be asking open-ended question in a chatbot. When you ask an open-ended question like, hey, how can I help you? Then the customer can say anything. Okay, based on my capability, I designed, okay, my chatbot currently handles these two things. So let me ask this way, view existing case. Then I can bold, maybe I can bold this case or existing case update, those type of things. So customer will be tend to update. But you tell me the answer. When you get this prompt, how you going to respond to this?
Normally same way, like if I'm looking for a case update, I'll be go with the first one.
Yeah, means how you react on the keyboard.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, my question, AJ, my doubt here is suppose we are not limited with this type of utterances, right?
Yeah, we are
Suppose
not limited.
based on, based on the need, suppose if we need to create more, then what we'll do in that case?
We can always add utterances. So there is something called intent miner, which I'll show you, but that requires additional license. That intent miner will tell you today customer is responding this way and I have failures. I can always monitor this. Then I can keep on adding the utterances there. That's how I can improve the chatbot functionality. Of course, there'll be exceptions. If the customer is saying which is not handled by my utterances, that's an exception. But that exception I can properly handle. Instruct the user saying that, okay, currently I'm designed for supporting this. So you need to ask something which is in my capability. That is one way of handling it. But yeah, I hope that is clear. Yeah, go ahead.
Can we add the another languages also here, for example?
Yeah, it supports. Yes, it supports different languages. Personally, I haven't tested with other languages, but there is an option I will show you where you implement the other languages. It supports a lot of common languages. Okay. Yeah. So
the workflow. One more question. The workflow which you are showing, right? This can be designed. This is all implemented in the Genesys platform itself, or this will be deployed somewhere else and it will be integrated towards Genesys.
Everything will be deployed in Genesys. Only for the data action, like getting the case update, case summary, I will be talking to Salesforce CRM. Yeah. Now, again, my question. Suppose you are chatting with the chatbot and you are getting this response. As a human, how you react with this? What will be your answer to that? I need that question answer. What will you type on your keyboard?
It could be one or two.
Yeah, this is what I'm expecting. So somebody will be typing simply one, right? I don't want to type existing case or case update. So I'm giving you as much as closely where a customer can behave. Okay, customer may type one. So in my utterances, I will also add one. That is easy, right? If customer types one, then I can easily redirect them to the case update option. And if the customer types two, I can easily redirect them to opening a case. So rather than typing the human language, guys, please mute if you're not talking. Yeah. Okay. 1 second. Let me mute them. I will, Vijesh, I will give. Can you mute them?
I think AJ, that is Kamal. Kamal, ask him
Kamal,
to
can you
mute.
please mute it if you're not speaking?
1 second. I will hand over the host permission to Vijesh so that he can control that. Vijesh, you are there, I guess.
Yes, yes. You can leave.
So you are the host. Cool. All right. I'm back. Okay.
So, this utterances, it will accept only predefined utterances, right?
Yeah, it
So
accepts only
something
predefined
static,
utterances.
not
Yes.
dynamic. Yeah.
So the way I design my chatbot, that I will be sensing how customer behaves. Then in indent miner is the solution called indent miner. I can see what are the exception, what user used to type. So I'll be keep on improvising my bot, saying that okay, one fine day it can handle most of my customer queries. So, but it is predefined. I need to tell them these are the things which customer used to type.
In case if he is typing something wrong,
Yeah, we can handle the exception, which I'll show you. We can build the chatbot, then you type something wrong, we'll see how we can handle that situation. It is possible.
okay.
We can handle exceptions. Okay, so once the flow is ready, we will go and talk about few configuration stuff. So the same thing I am taking it from here, right? The node which I am demonstrating right now, it's all available here, the same link which I sent you. So we are right now here, configuration steps. So few things we need to configure as a basic configuration in Genesys. I will quickly go through that. By the way, this is not a Genesys administration training. These are the part of administration, like creating some users, blah, blah, blah. I'll just show you what are the things I have, how we can see the users, how we can create a queue, because that's the queue where I will be forwarding the real chat, means human chat. Okay. So let's log in.
AJ, can you share that link again? Because I can't see that in the...
Yeah, somebody please copy paste that in the group. It is there in our WhatsApp group, or after the webinar, you just ping me, I will send you. This will be available always. Okay, so once you log into the Genesys interface, this is what you see. This is Genesys contact center interface, and all our touch point will be in the administrative task. Okay, so go to admin. Let me open the configuration guide in a different window so that I can refer it. Okay, so there are few components here like people and permission, integration, and then architect. These are the area which we will be touching today. And in people, it's just like your end user. If you're coming from Cisco world, or we usually call it as end user page. I have a couple of users here, agent 1, agent 2, and then one supervisor, and then this user. This is the admin user, and I will have access to configure a few other things. Agent, supervisor, admin, everyone logs into the same interface. It is completely role driven interface. When you log in as an admin, then only you can see the admin menu here. If you log in as an agent, you shouldn't see that. So based on the role that you assign to a user, your view will change. Okay, so if you take the agent 1, the agent 1 will have only two role, which is called employee role. That's by default, he can log in, employee role, and user role. This role basically enabling that user becomes an agent. Okay, so these are the two things required for an agent to work as an agent, because later we will be logging into the same interface as an agent to handle the chat messages. So I have two users with these two roles. Now going back again to people, I have an administrator user, which is Abdul Jassim, and he has the global admin privileges like employee, admin, Genesys Cloud Voice admin, master admin, and user. So I can be a agent as well, and I can be an employee, means basic collaborate license. Then I means if I have employee license, means employee role assigned, I can chat with other internal contact center users. That's all. But if I wanted to answer some interaction like chat or call something, I need user. But here I am a master admin, so I can configure all the flows as well. So this is one area where you configure users. To add a new user, it's easy. You go there and...
So master admin is the one which will have the architect,
yes. Yes.
functionality
Yeah.
or the features evaluation.
Yeah, let me just show you what is inside the architect, since you asked that question. Sorry, the master admin. So if you go to roles and permission, you can search for master admin. There are some predefined roles available in Genesys. These are that, but you still can customize on your own if you wanted to give specific permissions. So in the master admin, if you go to permission, these are the permission it has. Agent UI, all permission. Then alerting, not all permission. Then what else? Analytics, he has the basic bot related. I have some permission. So it's multiple pages, almost 53 pages are there. Let me add 200. So these are all permission. Based on that level, you will see the options when you log into the same interface. Based on your permission level, you will start seeing things. Okay, I can simply show you something. I will log in as an agent. One sec. So here into the same interface, I'm logging in as an agent. Yeah, agent 01. So when you log into the same interface as an agent, now you will start seeing the differences in the UI.
So is it this the same portal for everyone, like
Yes.
portal.azure or Microsoft? What we discussed, same thing, right?
Yeah, it is same, but it depends on the location. When you are picking up a Genesys solution, it is hosted in AWS Cloud. So you have to select one AWS region where you actually wanted to host even before signing up. Based on that, the URL differs. Here you see app.us west 2. So I deployed my contact center in US West 2. Not I, when I request for that, I selected this location. That's the reason I got US West 2. So based on your company location, we'll be selecting that.
Okay, so that means you try to say when I'm just getting the trial, it's not like a region wise, like how Microsoft we are creating an account, free trial account and all like that. It is there.
Here we cannot select that once you get that account. Even before getting the account itself, you need to select which data center you wanted to host. So right now, since it shows US West 2, the cloud instance, whatever you see right now, it is hosted in US AWS data center. So if you simply search for AWS data center for Genesys, you will see that. Let's see, since you asked that, we'll see that.
No, a little tricky. You are getting two answers. For example, if I'm logging to AWS or Azure, I can put my VMware or whatever. So here you are trying to say when I'm creating a login demo account or whatever, so I need to choose where is the nearest location for me. So they are implemented a AWS. Backend they have the AWS, right? Not we. Correct?
Yeah, backend they have the AWS. There is a difference in Azure and the contact center, right? Azure is called infrastructure as a service. Like you can build your infrastructure. But in Genesys, the infrastructure is already built. It's a software solution. So that software where you need to deploy, that you need to decide even before signing up. That's how it is.
Deploy means I need to deploy or it's a sign in.
You need
That's my question.
sign in. You need to request the Genesys sales saying that my office belongs to India. So I need a data center which is near to India. Let me just show you one thing. Genesys, AWS.
One question: if in case you have a geo country based locations, like you have globally locations everywhere, right? Let's say 4 or 5 data centers across. In that particular case, we'll only be able to stick to one particular data center for call routing purposes, or how is it?
Yeah, you should be able to stick only to one particular. That's the limitation of that. You should be stick to one region. So wherever you have the TRI regulation or telephony regulation you have, they deploy something called edge devices. So edge is nothing but it's a multimedia device. It's a physical hardware box that you can deploy on your premise, then connect that to the internet. It can talk to the respective cloud. Your telephony service provider or the telecom regulation will be like your call should terminate on your premise itself. You still can terminate that, but to process the call and further manipulation, you will be bridging a cloud for that purpose. So that's how it is addressed in these type of scenarios. But when you create an account, you select that region only for the first time. You cannot change your location later on. So these are the available data centers of Genesys. When you initially talk with your sales, Genesys sales, you need to make sure that, okay, my location belongs to this, my primary location will be this. You can have a recording solution in a different, like if you wanted to keep the recordings in a different way, they call it as satellite. Some small services will be available there, but your major call routing decision and functionalities will be always dependent upon where the data center actually located.
Got it. So if in case your company is, let's say, registered based out of United States,
Yeah.
and let's say one of the agents are basically based out of Hong Kong, the call is still going to route from United States towards the Hong Kong agent, right?
Yes, that's
It will
true.
not choose the nearest one.
It will
Okay.
not choose the
Got
nearest
it.
one. It will be still tied up with the actual data center.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And AJ, every time we need to have a edge server, in that location, as you said.
Only when the requirements are there. Telecom regulation, like countries like India, Dubai, I don't think so. Yeah, Dubai also, Saudi Arabia, they have strict regulation, right? When a call comes in, it has to terminate on your premise itself. So in that case, you can put that edge device there, like through a cube, you take the call, then bridge to the cube. Bridge to the edge device. Then it can do what it does is it downloads the configuration locally, like whatever flow you design in your actual region, it downloads. The edge device is like a caching device. It downloads the configuration and process it from there, and then it goes to the customer. So that way you can, it's a trick where you can you be in compliance, telecom compliance. That's
But
how.
it is not important for countries like US or
No,
somewhere in
they are
Europe.
pure cloud solution, right? You can have that way.
Purely web
This
RTC.
is,
Yeah.
the edge device is basically just to keep your media local
Yeah,
to
media
comply with the
local. Yes,
regulations.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. And depending on the location, if you come to the core region, the login differs, right? If it is Asia Pacific, this is your login ID. What I have selected is US West 2. So if you look at this, there's one more page. US West 2.
And in case of these edge devices, right, if there is any outage on the Genesys Cloud data center, it will not act as a DR solution, right? The edge devices,
It will
not function as
it will a kind of DR because it downloads the configuration. But personally, I haven't experienced much on the edge device, so I'm not authorized to talk about that more. But we can have a discussion later, maybe. Yeah.
Sure, no problem.
Okay.
I want to ask, you said that it is a Genesys is software as a solution,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And does it mean that we don't need to deploy on cloud, right?
Yeah, we don't need to deploy.
It means already it will be pre-deployed there.
Yeah, it is pre-deployed. You can compare with your Gmail solution. So nobody gonna deploy Gmail solution, right? We log in, then how to send email, where to send email, what to send, all those things are our decision, right? Which I can control. The same way, Genesys as a software, it is already deployed, but how to route the call, what logic you want there, it's all in our hand. We need to design. As a platform, it is with the Genesys. We don't need to manage. We don't do software upgrades. We don't do patch upgrades. We don't do anything on that sort. There is no restart. There is no reboot, no activity, nothing. You focus on investing on your own logic and AI part. That's where the contact centers are moving, right? Instead of wasting time for the management, you waste time for innovations. You put your time and effort for the new innovations and new solutions. That's where Genesys is bringing into the table. Okay.
So it's like predefined and we can modify it based on the needs, right?
Yes, right. Highly customizable platform. So we were talking about the location. Since when I requested the trial organization, or when I am actually requesting for an official organization, Genesys sales team will ask me the first question, which location you need to choose, and they will send this link, by the way. These are the location available. You need to decide. So I selected US West 2 Oregon data center. That's why my login is login.uswest2.purecloud.com. Sorry, .pure.cloud.
Got it.
All right.
Got it.
All right.
The
So
scripting looks like UCCX, right? It's just like resembles like UCCX.
yeah, it's all contact center solution, right? Yeah, UCCX is an on-premise solution. Like you define the FQDN and everything. But here we don't have that much control. We need to go with what they give. Okay. So I'm done with the UCCX. Yeah.
Sorry, Ajay.
Yeah.
What about recording part?
It's natively available on Genesys. You can still use additional recording server. It can be integrated with your variant recording, other standard recording solution. But within the Genesys itself, the call will be recorded if you enable that recording in the trunk. There is a settings where you can enable that.
So the charges in Genesys is based on the agents.
Yeah, so they have licensed something called, if you look at here, right, Cloud CX2, CX3. There are three type of licenses: Cloud CX1, CX2, and CX3. And you simply Google it and you will find a table, the difference between all these three things. The AI and other thing will coming only in CX3.
Okay.
And by the way, you cannot assign a license to the user. The moment you assign a role to the user, based on the role, it will take the license. That's how it is designed. Now, if you see, for example,
that logging part, right, on the
yeah,
home page, like if you assign the roles, that logging tab will appear. What
yes,
I have read
yeah,
somewhere. Yeah, something like
yeah.
that.
So if I assign this agent UI permission, it will be consuming a CX2 license. Okay. But if I am assigning administrator task again for that particular user, it will be taking CX3 license. So the final license will be CX3. That way, if you go to the users, by the way, we are not here to discuss the licensing part. We still need to cover a lot of things. But if you go to the users, let me select, yeah, you see this. Abdul Jassim takes CX2. Supervisor say takes CX2. Yeah, all of them are taking CX2 now. There is a comparison. Yeah, there is a comparison. If you go to the Genesys website, you can compare the license, and also they will tell you the cost for each licenses. So this is where I manage user, and they have also something called division. I'm not here to explain what is division. It's the way you can segregate inside your data center. Like you have two departments and you need to have a logical separation between these two departments. Like an agent from a department A logs in, he will only see department A. He will never see, even he doesn't even aware about there is a department called department B. So that's why we control, that's called division. But timing, let's go with only a division called lab division. I'll be putting everything in lab division. The default division will be home, so you can configure your things in. If you don't want that type of logical separation, you can configure things in home as well. And by the way, adding a user is simple. You can simply click add one and then provide his email address, and that's it. It's going to trigger an email to the user. User can click that link and then set a password and log in. Easy, simple. And yeah, like when I create the user, right, they're asking me which division you wanted to create the user. I can either create in home division or I can go and create in lab division. So that's how the configuration of users belongs. Yeah, go ahead, guys.
Just may I ask a question? How many licenses do you have how to count the number of licenses that we have? I apologize for my question.
There is a way you can go to subscription. There you will see the subscription details about what license. This is the trial one. I don't know how the license will be available here. Usually in trial, they will give 10 CX2 licenses, I believe. But in a production environment, you come to the subscription, you can see what other licenses are there. Consumption report will be also available there, usage report.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt you, Abdul. Can we go ahead with the Abdul agenda first? Because we are getting the loads of things which are not the part of the training, and we will miss the actual things, actual agenda which Abdul had prepared for us.
Okay,
Sorry,
yeah, I'm fine with that, guys. If you wanted to,
yeah,
if you wanted to learn more about Genesys, there is an option coming in. I will present that later. That covers all your doubts and other things. So let us focus on in and around the chatbot building right now. But anything related to the licensing, so many other things, which I'll explain. Let's continue something, and then I will put a pause and I'll explain how you can further learn additional stuff. Don't worry, anything related to Genesys, I'm here for you guys. Okay, so we are done with the people. We understand how you configure a people. You add a people and assign the user role so that that user becomes an agent. Then once the user configuration is done, we will move on to the second portion. Yeah, we are adding an agent and we need to create a queue. Okay, so let's go to the interface again, admin and queues. It comes in the contact center menu, queue. Queue is nothing but it's a place to hold all the users. Like if a user is available on the queue, like I can make myself available by drifting this button. If it makes queue, I am ready to take interactions now. But I'll come to that later. So here I have a queue called AJ Bank Customer Support. But if I wanted to create a new queue, it's easy. Put a queue called webinar queue. Webinar queue. Again, I can place this in different divisions. I will place it in a lab division, then simply create. So once that is created, like I can go to the webinar queue and I need to assign the agents here, right? There are a lot of things inside queue as well, but again, we are not here to cover the queues. Inside queue, you can go with the default routing, but there are bullseye routing, there are skill-based routing, a lot of routing criteria are there. But I'll go with the default option. Based on the availability, call will be routed to different agent. For demonstration, we only have 2 agents, right? So the chat will go to either that agent or either to other agent. But again, it's another altogether different area of discussion. We'll have a lot of routing algorithm. Whatever is suited for your organization, you can pick that, but I'll go with the default. All I'm doing is I will be adding my members here. So I have multiple agents, right? Let me add agents here. So I'm going to add agent 1, agent 2, and also the Abdul Jassim user in my queue. So added. Guys, please mute. Vijesh.
I'm unable to find that person. One second.
Okay.
Who's that?
You monitor.
BKV, his name is
I think we
BKV.
have some settings where we can mute all participants.
BKV, what is that?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Who is BKV, by the way? Please mute yourself when you're talking. Okay, I don't want to make everyone mute because, as I said, committed, this is like an interactive session. I want you guys to ask question, and
yeah, but we can unmute yourself whenever we have
yeah.
some doubt.
So when you have a question, unmute, and yeah, by default everyone muted, and when you unmute, talk, and then mute yourself once you complete.
I am. Hey Jay,
Yeah.
sorry. For me, I think you should mute everybody. If anyone wants to ask a question, right? There is the hand symbol there, right? That hand, right? Click on it, right? And then you see it, and then you tell the person to ask the question.
Okay.
So that you control this instead of the whole noise that comes. It just delays the whole lecture, right? Makes it longer than necessary.
Yeah,
For me,
I
that's
agree.
what should happen.
Proper way.
Yeah. So Vijesh, you can.
But there is a problem. There is a problem because sometimes if we raise the hands, AJ can't able to concentrate because he's teaching the same line. Okay, he maybe misses.
So let us do one
So
thing.
there are lot of
Let
times-
us respect each other. We understand there are a lot of audience. Let us respect each other. Once you ask question, you keep in your mind you need to mute yourself after the question. Let's go with this. I am very open. We don't have any problem, and I don't have any time limit. But you guys will have some time limit anyway. By the way. All right, sorry about that because we have a large number of audience. That's how we can control it. I don't want somebody tomorrow coming and say that I have this question, you didn't answer that. I don't want to hear that negative things. Anyway.
Maybe AJ, you can speak some for a few minutes, then mute. I mean, pause for some time, then ask questions.
Yes, sure, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. So members, I have added my agent. So in the queue, anything comes to the queue, these agents will get alerted. Then I'll go with all default settings because that is not our discussion today. There are a lot of customization you can do on the message, voice, chat, how this will be interacting towards a chat, and what's the difference between chat and message. Then voice, email, callback, and rest of the things like canned responses. Like you can have some ready-made responses like how may I help you, or those type of things. When you actually wanted to catch the user instead of typing, you can simply select that. But time being, our focus will be creating a queue and adding members to the queue. That's it. We are done. So right now I have a queue called webinar queue, and any interaction comes, I will be redirecting to the webinar queue. If a user is present in that, he will be get notified. All right. So that's the second portion we have done in terms of administration. Then contact center queue, add queue. Yeah, we have done that. Okay. So I'm also adding some wrap-up codes. Wrap-up codes in the sense when a customer calls, it can be like a general inquiry, debit card, whatever, debit card issue or transaction issue or something. I need to take a wrap-up code that will help me in reporting. So tomorrow as a contact center manager, when he is reviewing, I can understand, okay, these many customers call for these many inquiries, so that I can still improvise that. See, the contact center solution as a whole, for the developer, for the support agent, as well as the manager, it is always an improvising task. There will be a lot of improvements required. When you start the contact center today, it is in the position of A. When it goes to C, there will be a lot of improvements happening, and then you will be going further. So it's like continuous innovation and improvisation. So the reporting and these type of things will help us to do that part, by the way. So let's also do that wrap-up codes. So again, in contact center, we have an option called wrap-up code. I'll go to admin menu. Then I'll show you where the wrap code actually comes into picture when I handle an interaction. Go to this, and here in the contact center menu, you have wrap-up codes, and I can add wrap-up code. For time being, let me just copy paste all this. General inquiry, division will be lab division. So people from home division wouldn't be able to see that. That's how we do that logical separation. debit card issue, and transaction issue. Done. These three are enough. I just added the wrap-up code. Now in the queue, I need to assign this wrap-up code. So I'll go back to the queue again. Then it will be visible to the members within that queue. Queues. And we select the webinar queue. Go to the wrap-up code section. Add that wrap-up code. Debit card issue, general inquiry, transaction issues. I added all these three, and that's it. So your queue is ready, wrap-up code is ready, members are ready. Let's move on. Okay, so we are done with the basic configuration task for agents and queues. Any doubts in that section, guys? Okay, we are good at this point. Okay.
Abdul here.
Yes.
This wrap-up codes, as we are disposing on Genesys, this can be integrated to the CRM, right?
It can be integrated to the CRM,
and it has to be captured into the CRM.
Yes,
possible, right?
That is possible. It can be integrated with the CRM, and this will also help us to do the reporting. Genesys natively offers a lot of reporting capabilities where you can pull the calls based on the wrap-up code, like how many calls happened in this month or this particular wrap-up code. That is possible. Of course, yes, it is a limitless platform. You can integrate with the CRM, which will send this particular message into the CRM, and that will be captured in their CRM as well.
This Genesys, including the recording, it also has WFM.
WFM is available, QM and WFM built in. Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Okay, so coming back, yeah, by the way, I didn't discuss this part, right? When you log in as a agent, this is how you see. See, I don't have the admin interface here. I don't have much menus option. I only have the workspace option available here. So it's all role driven. So a user logs in, this is what he sees like an agent. When administrator log in, that's where you see the admin menu and all other stuff. We drifted apart in somewhere when we discussing that. So my first section is over. We are good with the configuration task. We created users, means agents, and ACD queues. Then now let's think about an inbound message flow. So in contact center, we usually call it as either an inbound call or inbound message, inbound chat, inbound email. So any interaction which is triggered from an external source, like a calling number, somebody from outside, they're calling my contact center. Or some website is displaying my chat window, somebody is initiating a task. It's all captured with an inbound flow. If it is a message, of course, it's an inbound message flow. If it is a call, it's an inbound call flow. The robotic flow is different and inbound flow is different. Inbound is only the initial point, like a capturing point. I take that, then I hand over to a WhatsApp, not a WhatsApp, it's a I hand over to a bot. So that's how it is organized in Genesys. So first we need to create an inbound flow just to accept the message from a user. Okay, that flow does not do any kind of logical routing or anything. It just accept it. Then we further build the logical flow. So in the architect, if you go, we can create inbound message, and then I'm going to create something like, this is the name I have selected, but for webinar, I'll simply type webinar. And I just created, I don't do any logical configuration there. I'll just add it and publish it. Then further, later I will come here and customize the further routings and everything. Okay. So let's go and see how we can build the initial flow or designing a call. So the entire call routing or the architectural part coming into the Genesys in the menu called architect. They call it as architect. That's where you design all the flows, call flows, message flows, bot flows, and everything will be designed and configured within architect flow. So let's go and access the architect, which is here, and it always opens in a new tab. And there I need to create an inbound flow right now.
AJ, we can also configure like chat which comes to English agent or like Polish agent, something like that, proficiency level, those things also.
Yeah, that is there. When you assign, I didn't talk about the skill, but when I create the queue, right, there is an option to add the skill also there, and the skill they have star rating, like 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. Yeah. So based on the star rating also, we can do logical route decision and then route accordingly.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, 1 second. So in the architect page, when you come, this is what you see. I don't have a symbol flow, that's it. This is basically a call flow. I am right now selected inbound call. So this only handle calls. What I need is a message handling, inbound message. There's an inbound chat as well, but chat is the oldest form, like directly chatting to an agent. That's not today we are implementing, and by the way, it is almost obsolete. I think this year they support chat, but if you go to the official documentation of web chat, they themselves will tell you need to migrate towards message. So sooner or later, this will be not available here, and you only see inbound message. So we are learning that. So inbound message is nothing but
AJ, for example, for WhatsApp, like that Genesys can be integrated to with WhatsApp as
yes,
well, right?
yes.
So that will fall under what? Like it will fall under that chat or under the message?
It is in the message flow itself, inbound message. So this is customizable. You can build this in. I will come to that point. There is a way I can. I will discuss what are the other option where you can integrate.
Okay.
But right now I have a capturing point. I need a capturing point. That's what my inbound flow is all about. I'm going to build a new inbound flow. So I will add it. Let us put webinar inbound message flow. I should be always descriptive so that looking at the flow, there'll be one more flow coming in called bot flow. So I shouldn't be confused. Is it a bot flow or it's an inbound flow? So when I configure the name, I am very vigilant about the naming. So webinar inbound message flow is nothing but the initial capturing point. That's where I'm configuring, and of course it goes to the lab division. And error event don't transfer. If any error comes or any logical issue that whatever somehow the flow fails, I can directly transfer that to my webinar queue. That's a logical thing, right? It's also a error handling thing. So you guys were asking if a non-logical input given to a illogical input given to a chatbot, what happens? There are ways to capture that in the bot flow itself, but even your bot flow fails and this flow fails, but still we have an option to get the user transfer to a real queue, and live agent will be there to assess the user. So it's an optional. You can select this or you can ignore and create flow. And the right interface that you see right now is called the flow interface, the inbound message flow interface. The entire contact center logic, though it is IVR or chat, everything will be designed in the architect flow diagram. This is architect flow for inbound message. Some option might be different. If you do a voice inbound, you will see some options here. You might not see some options. So depending on the type of flow, type of flow means it can be a call, it can be a message, it can be an email, it can be a web chat. Those type of things. So depending on the flow, the menu option will differ. This is called the toolbox, and you have all the tasks available. Like you can transfer, you can do a logic, you can do looping, you can do a decision, you can do a lot of things. Whatever a contact center currently offers, even the future contact center offers, you have all those options available here. You don't need any programming skill to develop anything. Usually people used to come from the contact center background. They will say, I wanted to know scripting. So in Genesys, scripting is a different one. For designing a flow, you don't need any scripting knowledge. Scripting is coming into picture in terms of agent scripting, which I will just show you after the webinar. I will show you what is agent scripting. That's only to get the details pushed in front of the agent. Like when an agent answers a chat or a call, if we know the customer already, those information can be fetched and displayed in front of the agent. That's where the scripting is coming in. That is literally a kind of scripting. You need to have a small coding background, but not background. At least you need to understand what is variable and stuff like that. That should be good. And it's not complicated, but designing the call flow is purely on the flow diagram. It's all a flowchart kind of design. That's the reason we said we need to have a proper flowchart in the beginning so that you can convert that flowchart into a kind of contact center logic. All right. So here, all I'm doing is when someone chats to this bot, it starts and it disconnects. But here, let me do this way. So I'm going to create a message. So that is available here. Send response. I'll send a response. It's drag and drop. Either I can drag and drop, or I can simply click on the arrow mark and then select from the toolbox what is required. Then it says message body. What should I send to the ask to the user? Okay, right now I need to move my video from here to there. 1 second, guys. There will be a lot of option coming into the left hand side. So if I I move myself up.
AJ, how much important is scripting from the job perspective?
That will give you some positions, right? Usually people doesn't understand scripting, but don't worry, I have a solution for all of you guys. I will teach you scripting. I have a specific training coming in future. I will talk about that. It is important because when someone hires you for a contact center role, contact center wouldn't stand alone. It is always having a dependency of other products. It will be an integrated product. But when you compare with IP telephony solution like a call manager or Teams, it's like once you deploy, that's all. No integration, nothing. Still you can do. But contact center, 99% of the time you will have extra integration. So if the company is asking you to do that type of integration, having a knowledge of scripting as well as the flow designing and API will always help. Like 60% of things we will learn from here itself in this webinar. Remaining 40%, I will give you a solution, which if you are interested, you can explore that.
Sure.
Is it just one last question?
Yeah.
That scripting that you mentioned, is that like Genesys proprietary language or open source
It's
language?
Genesys proprietary.
Ah, okay. Just like Cisco, right? ICM scripting.
Yeah,
and
right.
Call Studio. Okay, got it.
Okay. So yeah, that's it. So I need to send a response to the user saying that, okay, so I'm going to select, if it is an expression, I'll tell you what is expression later. I'm going to select a literal here, and then I will send, I'll copy paste from here. Okay. Welcome to AJ Bank's virtual support center. Okay. Instead of webinar, I'll put webinar so that we understand. Webinar, sorry. Webinar virtual support center. So first, when someone chats, it's going to send this. And then what I'm doing is I'm creating a new task here in the task list, reusable task. I'll tell you the reason I'm creating the task, but I need to create a task here. Then I need to transfer to that task. Okay. So task, and I'm going to put the task name as, let me transfer to digital bot flow. Okay, I'm not transferring anything here at this point, but I'll be doing it. I just created transfer to digital bot flow. Okay. Then I'll say, okay, right, time being, we'll give a test here. Test, that's it. Okay, the message will be test if it successfully transfers, and then I need to disconnect that. Okay, so first task will be the initial stage. The initial trigger comes to this. Then here I will use an option called transfer, sorry, not transfer, task and call task. I am calling a task. Drop it here. And which task I need to call? I need to call that task which I created here, right? So initial request comes, it start, it sends welcome to AJ Bank webinar virtual services. Then it gonna trigger. It's like a logical function in programs, right? It calls something else. What is it calling? It is calling this number 13. These are node numbers which we cannot control. Okay, it's assigned by Genesys itself. So they are transferring to this reusable task. Here it simply says test and disconnect. That's it. Time being, this is what I need. I will save it. We need to build a lot of things here. But first I will deploy things and then see it's working, and then we'll start building the logic. That's what my approach is all about. Instead of building everything and troubleshooting from the beginning, let's go with this approach. So I'm going to publish this.
AJ, in between a quick question.
Yes.
Can't we collect an input from the message flow, not from the bot
we
flow?
We can. So we can collect from here. We can collect from bot. It's all your logic. The way I design this way. So I prepare for the webinar in this flow so that I'm comfortable. If I am deviating from that, then of course I need some time. So there'll be a lot of questions and other thing around it. So I have a specific flow designed for the webinar. So we'll continue with that. But it's an open tool. You decide whatever way you wanted to collect the data from user. You can collect from the input position, then transfer to a bot flow, or I am collecting directly from the bot. Whole logic will be built around the bot flow. This one is just a wrapper to place in the website. It takes and further processing will be on the bot flow.
Okay, quick follow-up question. But I don't see any notes regarding collecting inputs in the inbound message flow.
Yeah, I'm not collecting anything in the inbound message flow. I am collecting input from the bot flow. See, collect mobile number slot. So in the bot flow, the variable we call it as slot. So we didn't reach here.
No. I was asking in inbound message flow what node we have in.
Okay.
I mean. in
Okay.
availability, what mode
Let's
we
see.
can
Let's see.
use?
1 second.
Jasim, for the flowchart, you have prepared your on your own the logic, right?
Yeah, right.
Just an example.
Yeah, just an example flow. Yes.
Okay.
So if you go here and click edit, there will be data get response. Get response will collect the data. What's that question?
Sorry, actually it will be used for pulling the candidate responses from the
Okay,
admin, right?
is it so? Okay.
Uh,
Then we'll have to see. You mean to say that there is not even an option to collect input
yeah,
data?
actually I was wondering why this is not available in Genesys Cloud. So
Okay.
maybe just quickly checking with you. Yeah.
Okay, so I will take that question. Just a second. By the way, there is an unanswered question section in the webinar. The last one you see, a webinar unanswered question. I will be adding it here. Okay. User
Yeah, sure.
input
Thank you.
from the message flow. Yeah, sure.
Maybe it's not getting saved. Is it?
I'm capturing it in a notepad in the other
Okay,
window.
got it.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. Thank you.
So once I get the answers, I will add it here. If there is an answer, of course, I will get you that. Okay, so we are here. We just built the inbound flow. Inbound flow is nothing but just a wrapper for the initial trigger. Okay, so once I have the inbound flow, let's go back to the configuration task and see what is next we need. Okay, inbound message flow I created. Then I need a messenger configuration. Messenger is nothing but that widget here, right? You see a chat window, that chat box. That is called messenger configuration. So let's go ahead and configure that messenger. Messenger configuration is in the admin window. It's not on the architect. So let's go to the admin window and messenger configuration. There are two things in the messenger. First, you design the look and feel. Then you generate the JavaScript for the messenger. Deploy that in a real website. So let's do that. I go to the messenger configuration. I have a messenger here. I will add a new one. The name will be webinar messenger. Yeah, webinar messenger configuration. So messenger configuration and deployment, there are two things. So I need to name it properly, say that I can understand, okay, it's a webinar messenger configuration or it's a webinar deployment. I'll show you the deployment next. Then how you wanted to design your chatbot. A demo will come here, like the chatbot appearance. Why is it still loading? Okay, so let's select few things. I have highlighted there what are the things you need to select. Set your launcher visibility button show. These are the option I need to select. I'll go ahead and select it. It's all available in these two pages. If you go to this page and apps page, those are the settings available in the table. You can go with all default option, but for some reason I'm not able to see that. Messenger home screen. Not even getting an option to save. Languages, I will select English. You can ignore label. Default language will be English. I will just save it and refresh the page. Okay, then we'll customize it further. Yes, it's saved. And we have your webinar messenger configuration. Open it and let's see, at least it brings up here. Usually it comes, I don't know, it's a browser cache related issue or not. Yeah, it came. So this is how it looks like. So the look and feel of this thing, you can customize it here. I enable the home screen, right? Somewhere, where is that? User interface, messenger home screen. Yeah. So if I disable, it looks like the chat window itself. Hey, how can I help? Or if I enable this, at least you will get a message button there and then you can further continue. So all those settings, what is required here, I have added here. User interface on, home screen on, logo. Some Genesys in the organization, I have seen few more customization that you can upload your logo here. But in this trial org, I don't have it. So you can go with the existing one. Then what color you wanted to. So let me gonna select a green color for today's webinar, because I do have yellow and other stuff. Okay, so like something like this. So this is how my chat window looks like. Then you can go to apps. Here messaging has to be enabled. Then humanize your customized conversation. Like you can put a chatbot name there. AJ webinar bot. Okay. And clear conversation means if I give this option, agent will get an means customer will get a delete option here. He can clear the chat. If I don't, he will not have. I will go without the clear option. Then automatically start conversation. I don't want it. Rich text formatting, I will enable it. Attachment, yeah, of course, agent can attach some images and send it to me. Typing indicators, you know that when somebody is typing in WhatsApp, you see that typing thing, right? Similar to that, some bubbles will be showing. That's called typing indicators. That's for the customer as well as the agent. These are the two options. Rest of the things I will disable. These are the settings. I am going almost everything with the default. That's where I have explained all this in the table. It's available here. You can always refer. So let me save my chat. Configuration is ready. Now I need to get the JavaScript code which is equivalent for this messenger. So for that I need to come to my messenger deployments. So in the messenger deployments I need to add a deployment. Like I created the chat configuration like the window how it should appear. Then I'm creating a deployment. So the name will be webinar messenger deployment. Okay, status is active. I need to select a configuration. So here I need to select my window configuration. So this is what we created in the previous step, right? Webinar messenger configuration and what version. There are two versions. I saved twice. So I will take the latest one, version 2, save it. And allow all domains. Like I have a website called ajcollab.com. Let me open that. It's a demo website I created for the webinar. It's a real website, by the way. It's hosted in GoDaddy. I'm going to place the chatbot here where everybody can experience that as well. So if you browse that ajcollab.com today, hey, come on. Don't do this. Yeah, let it come. I'll come back here. So I need to allow from all domain, or if I wanted to allow only from ajcollab.com, I can add that domain here. Since we are doing it all domain, means at demo here, I will allow all domain. But you can easily configure your respective domain. Then the bot will appear only if the domain matches there. Then select the architect flow. Here is the logic implementation, right? So when the JavaScript they develop, they attach that green color stuff that I added. And then what is the logic inside that? So here you need to select an architect flow, which will be an inbound message flow. So I created webinar inbound message flow. Nothing is there. It just say welcome and then it transfers and then it says test. That's all the logic I built, but this is what I selected right now. So in the configuration, you need to add the, in the deployment, you need to add the chat window configuration and the real logic configuration. You are tying up these two things together. And by the way, the website is ready here. So this is the website. I'll be adding the chatbot. Right now it is not there. So I can add this domain in the name of domain name so that bot will only appear here, nowhere else. If I give all the domain, the bot will be free. I can deploy in any other website as well. Okay, so I'm going to save this. Once you save the messenger configuration, they will give you the equivalent JavaScript code. So you don't need to be a JavaScript expert to understand that. There is a deployment key as also a JavaScript code. So you only need to copy this. Let me copy that.
Just a quick question here,
Yes.
AJ. So let's say that if we do not have, sorry, Srikanth here.
Yeah.
So let's say that if we do not have any website or have no idea, so can we use Genesys Cloud Developer, tools for sending out our messages or
yes, we can use it, but there are a lot of free web hosting option available. So I haven't tested that Genesys developer option, but it's possible you can do chatting. There is an interface where you need to log in actually, but it's not like as real as like a normal website. You should log in there, right? You need to authenticate. So then it's gonna fetch your configuration. It is possible, but if you are experimenting on it, there are free web hosting available. You just go and you can put some demo website.
Okay.
And
Sure.
yeah, and there is another guy I recently discussed with something called Azure Host. They offers very cheap web hosting option. You can simply buy a cPanel hosting from them for 1 month and test it. But there are a lot of free hosting option available. Just YouTube and you will find out something. Then you can do literally the same thing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ajay.
No worries.
One question, AJ, like how you selected the domain, the domain of like AJ Bank, right?
No, I selected allow all domain.
Okay. 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 Let me listen to you first.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm
Yeah.
asking this.
So all right, I'll summarize. Okay, I will come back and summarize right now what we have done. So all I did is I created a messenger. First, I created a flow called an inbound wrapper. Like I need to collect that initial trigger, right? That's what the inbound message flow. In that message right now, the only logic I have is it's gonna greet the customer saying that, hey, thank you for webinar. Means not thank you. This is AJ webinar bot, and then it's gonna transfer to a task. In that task, it says test. That's it. Then I came back here and created the messenger configuration where I design how the look and feel it should be when I deploy that in the real website. And then I went to the messenger deployment. Here I'm attaching these two things together. If I go to my note, we can quickly review this. So what I have done is I have messenger inbound flow. I have a messenger inbound flow. Then I have a messenger config. And then I have messenger deployment. Okay. And what I did is I connected this guy and this guy together and got my JavaScript from here. Does that make sense? Hope it is yes. Guys, am I audible? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have that here. This is the JavaScript code. And the only component here is called the deployment ID. So when you also generate a JavaScript code for your chatbot, rest of the code will be always the same. It is given by Genesys itself, where I don't need to do any editing or that type of thing. The only deployment key will be always different, and also your environment. Since I am in US West 2, I can see that plus this. So if I go back to my configuration guide, there also you will see the same thing. This is what the code, the only two things will be differs here, your deployment key and the environment where your because contact center belongs to. So as long as you have this code, next task is to inject this code into your real website. Again, for that you don't need any coding background, but usually in a production scenario, you're gonna give this code to a web developer and ask him to deploy wherever he wanted to deploy. So in my case, I wanted to deploy into the ajcollab.com website. So I will be logging in there. So all the website will be hosted one or the other way. My website is hosted at a platform called cPanel, which is popular website hosting platform. And you can connect to the cPanel backend using a WinSCP tool using an FTP protocol. So I have it configured here. I can log in webmaster at ftp.ajcollab.com. This will gives me my HTML files, what is actually configured there. So this is what it is. And when you go to the home page, basically as per HTML and web technology, the index.html will be actually displayed. Whatever content is available on index.html, that's going to be displayed on the home page. Okay. So I want the things to be displayed on the home page. So I will open the index.html file, and that file will be open in a notepad or whatever editor you have. So I have a VS Code editor here. This opens up my website. So this is the website data in HTML format. You can see Genesys CX demo website. The same thing when you go to the actual website, you see it here, right? Genesys CX demo website. So this is the backend. So here I need to paste somewhere in between body. So there is a section in the every website. There will be a section called body, head and body. So within the body, anywhere I need to paste it. So I'll usually paste at the bottom side. So I'll go down, and if you look at my website, there is a section here called locate us, and there is an address. So right below that will be some of the last area, right? I still have these things, but before that I will paste, but it is up to you. You can paste anywhere irrespective of the position. It should be within the body tag. Okay. So I will copy my entire JavaScript, come to the site, and then if I go up, I can see the place called locate us. Yeah. So this is the place, locate us, 651 North Plano Road, Richardson, Texas. That's exactly where this is displayed, right? So that code is equivalent to this. So right below this, I can paste it without affecting rest of the things. So I just added one line here just for making up the webinar easier, Genesys bought JavaScript here. So this is basically comment in the scripting. It will not be executed when I actually embed the page, like when I actually load the page. So this is the place I need to add my chatbot JavaScript code. That's it. I need to save it. And right now I will.
AJ,
Yeah.
how did you connect this the website, that Java link?
Java link I generated from the Genesys itself, right? This is that code. And
No, this link is fine. You connected with WinSCP, right?
yeah.
So there will be an authentication, right? So how did you
that I
connected with
already
that?
let me show you my backend. GoDaddy.
AJ, one thing here.
Yeah.
So if someone is not aware of cPanel, they can go for blogger.com.
Anything would be fine. Anything would be fine. You just need to paste within your body section. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. So let me show
what
you.
I'm saying is, Blogger is giving the free template.
Yeah.
We don't need any coding language, and we can simply add
you can do it. You can do it. What I want is I wanted to replicate as close as like a real production environment. So that's the reason I have paid for the hosting. So inside my web hosting, if you go to GoDaddy, you can purchase web hosting. This is my demo hosting, not demo. This is used for demos. So I can manage and then log into my cPanel. And then there will be a user called FTP user. Let me just show you since you asked. Where is my cPanel admin? So this is how a cPanel login looks like. But there are different way of hosting website. That's anyway, it's good to learn, but it's usually handled by developers. So this is the cPanel where we have something called FTP users. So let me go to FTP accounts. And in the FTP account, I created a user called Webmaster. So you can see that Webmaster with a password. And when I opened the WinSCP and I added a site here, like new site, configure the host name. So that can be available here, configure FTP client. So this is my FTP server, ftp.ajcollab.com. This will be entered into WinSCP. And then user ID will be that they are giving.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
and the password, when I generate the account, I'll got a password. So this particular user is having access to all my, means the home location is this. This is the root location of my hosting. So when he logs in, he will see all the website contents. I also created another temp user for students. When they actually log in, they will be logging into this particular folder, like students middleware, students web. So they actually goes here. Okay. So like that, I can control which folder you land in. Since I'm a root user, I'll be landing on the primary root location where I can see my HTML file. If I replace the HTML file with some XYZ HTML, that will be displayed when you actually browse it. Make sense?
Okay.
So that's all about the web hosting technology, by the way. All right. So right now I added the code. Let us refresh the web page and see my bot is displayed. So when you're working with the chatbot, it always maintains that web caching and cookies. So I recommend open a private window and work with the bot when you're working with the bots. Now here I'll open ajcollab.com. In the home page, I should supposed to see that inbound message. There is no bot created. It's not a bot. It's just a wrapper for accepting the initial trigger. Sorry, my website is little, I just took a random template, which is free, by the way. It has a lot of image content in it, and it's not an optimized website. That's the reason it is taking some time to load. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, we can see it, JJ.
Oh, somebody is experiencing that. Okay, cool. So let me, it's the purpose of this screen sharing. Let it load here as well. Is it because my internet is too slow? Let me browse in Google Chrome rather than Mozilla.
No, I think so. It's taking a time for everyone, I think.
Okay. It came there. So once the website loads, it also triggers the JavaScript. So usually what happens, it takes a while to load the JavaScript because it is in the bottom. It takes some time to load, but it's all like web tuning technology. If you have caching and all those things, it will load faster. So let's wait for that pop-up to come here. That green stuff will be available on the right-hand side bottom. Hey, don't do this to me. Come on. Come on, buddy.
Yes, AJ, it's working.
Okay, you guys, it's working. Let me just get it here as well. What happened to Chrome window? Come on, guys. Who is singing the song? Making it, spicing it up. Okay. All right, I'll refresh this
I have
page
data.
once. I hope you guys will be able to see that bot. Let me just refresh my page. I'll try to use Chrome. HA collab. Let's see who loads faster. I can load in a normal window, but when I start designing more and more flows, the caching will be there. The chat cache will be always added in the message chat. So that will create a lot of confusion. So that's the reason I'm not loading in a private window or cognito window. For some weird reason, it's not loading. Yeah, finally I got it. Okay, so this is what the website deployment. So what we have done is we created a deployment. The color and the position is determined by this particular guy. If you go to messenger configuration, here I have selected which location it should appear, which color it should appear. Let me just show you that. The webinar messenger configuration, we deployed and configured position somewhere. Yeah, align auto. I usually select auto and this will be the spacing. So it comes in the right hand side. So if you wanted to keep it in any other side, you can always do that. These are the customization space, right? This is how it looks like. So I'll go to the real website. Let me try a message there and what happens. So I can click there and then chat with that. For some reason it is little slow in here. Yeah. So message, and I'm initiating a chat. Hi. So what should be the response supposed to get? It says welcome to. It's not even sending. Yeah, it's sent. Welcome to AJ Bank webinar virtual and test. So our logic is working right. This is what we design in the backend. Welcome to AJ Bank webinar virtual support center. Then transferring to a test. Is it clear, guys, until this point?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's not about, yeah, it's not a bot flow. We created a message flow. Message is just to capture the initial message from the user, because you cannot directly interact with the chatbot. You need to have a message flow and then connect that message flow into a bot flow. That's why the architecture is designed. Don't ask me why. That's how they designed it, and we have to follow that. So we created that messenger. We created that message flow, inbound message flow, attached that into a messenger configuration. Then using a deployment, we generated that code and we deploy that code in a real website. You can deploy anywhere if you want, as long as you have that JavaScript code. Go and deploy. If it is a blog, you can deploy anywhere, because I selected all domain. Then I simply interact with the chatbot and it is giving me a response which I supposed to get. This is what I configured. Now the real further logic coming in, how we can actually build the bot flow. Like now here on, a bot should take over it and then do customization. So let us build our bot flow. I hope till this point it is clear. All right.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to the bot, let me go to my whiteboard. So we are done with the second option as well. And we are here. Yeah, we are done with the configuration, messenger configuration, messenger deployment. We got our JavaScript code, digital bot flow. This is our bot. So in Genesys Cloud, digital bot flow means the actual chat bot. Only digital bot means your voice bot. You can also create a voice bot where you can interact with the bot, like, excuse me, call the bot and say that, okay, I want to talk to an agent. You can interact with the human language itself. That is called bot flow. The only bot flow is voice, like only bot flow is voice. Digital bot flow can handle both voice as well as chat. I haven't tried the voice in that. Usually we create digital bot flow for the chat interaction. So what we need is a digital bot flow. So how the organization means, how the architecture comes, usually this is the flow. Like initially you have a messenger configuration. We did that. We have an inbound message flow. We did that. We connected these two things together. That's what we see. And from here, you need to transfer to a bot flow. This is something we are going to develop now. This is the flow. So we need to create a bot. Okay. So let us create the bot and then come back. At least we will see whether it is integrating well or not. Then we configure remaining Salesforce part. We'll take a small break after the initial bot, and then after the break we'll cover the Salesforce integration and building all our logic things like how you transfer, how you do all those sort of things. Okay, so let's go to the architect tool again. So this is the message flow. Go back to architects. We need, and in the inbound message, sorry, here you need to select digital bot flow. So all these flows which is supported flow, it cannot be used for initial trigger. So initial trigger has to be only these flows. That's the reason we created inbound message flow. Now we can create initial bot, digital bot flow. I can add new. So bot flow name will be webinar bot flow. Guys, who is talking there? Vijesh, please monitor and mute. Okay, webinar bot flow. I'm going to create the bot flow. And of course, it is in the lab division. That's fine. Okay. So right now, when you initially create out of the box, there will be a wait for input component added into the bot. It says, what would I like to do? It's going to immediately ask. So with this, you save it. You create a new and then publish it. Let's understand if the flow works, then we'll come back and add the remaining logic inside. Right now, I'm not modifying anything. I'm simply adding a bot flow. I added it. I published it. Now, one connection you need to do, how that connection happens. So initial trigger comes to the messenger, the messaging inbound message, right? So user is actually interacting with this guy, message flow. Now you have a bot flow. You need to do this transfer. Okay. So that's where I'm going back to the old flow which I created, which is inbound message flow. Then in the transfer action, I will say, okay, instead of sending test, you go and transfer to this particular bot flow. Let me do that. So in the architects, again, go back, select the inbound message, and select the message flow that we created. And then there is a transfer task, right? This happens here, start, welcome to blah, 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 then transfer to digital bot flow. It's a task. And what is that does is it is transferring to this particular task. So let me go to that task. Right now it is simply sending a test message. So I don't want this. So I'm going to delete this. So don't send any test. Instead, you call a digital bot flow. So that means you're going to go and talk to a digital bot flow. So I will add it here. And now I can see my digital bot flow here. Where is it? Webinar bot flow. That's it. So who is requesting this? Now I can publish this. Now your messenger and the inbound message flow and the bot flow are connected. To experience that, you can again send a hi message. And when you send the hi message right now, initial greetings will be triggered by this guy, right? Initial greeting will be this: welcome to AJ Bank virtual support. Then you will see, how may I help you? That is actually coming from our bot. Let's take out the bot, digital bot flow. And this is the bot flow we created. I'm gonna reopen and interact and see whether I'm going there or not properly. So this is what the message is there, right? What would I like to do? So if that comes, all our integrations are done. Rest of the things will be building the logic. So we can build the logic. We simply publish it. Things will work accordingly on the website.
Yeah, it comes here.
Okay. You guys are pretty fast internet. For some reason, mine is not working here. I tried, but it was okay. I tested everything working well before the webinar. It's all working. But right now, when I open in private window, it takes some time to load. But
AJ, one thing, we could see the old messages even after doing a refresh of the web page.
Refresh, that's the reason. I don't know whether you noticed, I closed my private session and reopened. That's always cache driven. the cookies and cache will always keep your existing messages there. Like it's like a state triggered message rather than you send a message and close it. Even if you come back to the web page later point without clearing your cache and history, you still have that previous interaction there. And when that history transferred to an agent, that agent will also see that previous history. That is needed for a contact center to have the context, to understand the context. Like you chat the agent maybe yesterday with this idea, and then again you need to continue that chatting. So as long as your history and cookies, cache, things are there, it will be an interaction. Means it will be a continuous interaction.
Okay, thank you.
But again, I have to wait here. Do I have any other option in my? This is already loaded. But each time when you update or publish the chatbot, you have to refresh your website so that it pulls the new configuration. I will wait for some time, guys. Sorry. Next time I will refresh my Chrome.
AJ, we can do one more thing. Like we can provide the delete option in the message configuration part, and every time you no need to refresh this web page.
Cool.
You can just click
Yeah.
on.
Let me
delete
do
and you
that. Let me do that. So in the message configuration, that's clear conversation. Save a new version. So in the messenger, of course, I may have to update the new version. So let's go to
And I think I would
configuration. This is version 2 currently running. I will have version 3 now. So webinar messenger, and I'm going to select the version 3 right now. So I'll get the chat option. That will help me to delete and test it out. Okay,
so it automatically is AJ. So it automatically is create a new version whatever whenever you make some changes, or how it is?
Only that messenger configuration, right? The look and feel, when you change the look and feel, the color and the position and those things, when you update, it'll create a new version. Everything will be version controlled, but the architect flow, when you update, right, it's going to trigger and attach to the latest one itself. So don't worry about, you don't need to update any version here, but still this is version control. You will have multiple version each time when you save. But architect flow, you can ignore because the bot will take the latest flow. You can go to the old version as well, but architect you don't need to edit. But in messenger configuration, that's something you need to keep in mind. If each time when you make changes, you will have to do that version updates. Okay, so let me chat now and see at least the connection goes till the bot. Then I can confidently develop my bot. That's it.
It's constantly playing a message saying, sorry, I didn't receive any update from you.
Yeah, it's a natural language. Yeah,
natural language.
That's natural language. That's how it is configured. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I initiated chat, send hi. Only because my website problem means delay, right? Sorry about that. Usually you will never face that. It will be interactive. So the first option that came from the inbound message, this is what we configure in the inbound. Then it says, what would I like to do? So this is coming from the bot. And if you don't do anything, if you wait for some time, it will constantly ask, okay, what would you like to do? What would you like to do? Those type of things will be always there. But at least my control now reaching till the bot. So I am confident. I can ignore about the website. I say, okay, goodbye developer. I'm done. Now I will start developing further logic. So it's all under my control now. I can build the logic. The complete integration is completed. I hope you guys are aware about that. Any questions about the whole integration and connecting, bridging these together? Okay, good.
No AJ, that's fine.
Good. Cool. So let me see, where are we now? Okay. Okay. So
AJ, even if I type a message again, it's still giving me the same response. Like
we don't have anything configured, right? It is not ready to do anything right now. So if you look at the flow, all I have here is wait for an input. Okay, this is what the input is. Wait for an input. Then after getting the input, you end the task. Nothing. So it will be constantly waiting for an input. There is no intent created. There is no slots created, which we will be creating, by the way. Then bot will be ready. The reason I have tested this way, because it shouldn't be like you build all the logic and then find one finder, you go and deploy. There shouldn't be any mistakes. So I need to see that path is correct. Now the path is ready, and by the time you guys also understood how a deployment works, then our logic. It's all about the contacts and the logic now. We can do that. Okay. So one small thing which I am right now doing is, coming back to the bot flow. Here onwards, I will be spending all my time in the webinar bot flow itself. I don't go to deployment, I don't go to messenger, I don't go to the inbound flow, nothing. My connection came here. Now here I can decide what are the things I need to do. Okay. So first thing, what I do is, I don't like to develop everything on the starting or initial greeting flow. This is like the initial greeting, right? Let me click edit because I just open it. I don't want to build the entire flow here, making it complicated on the initial task. Instead, we have a flexibility of creating reusable tasks. The reason I'm going for reusable tasks, because any point in time I can jump to any of the tasks. Suppose you have an exception. You guys are asking me, right, how to handle an exception. So during that exception, I can simply say that, okay, you go to the initial task or whatever task I need. For that reason, even though this is the beginning, I will create my own initial task. I will call it as initial. These are all best practice approaches. It's not like you can design this way only. If you wish to proceed, it'll be easy for you to troubleshoot. Initial task. I go to the initial task. Then let's say in the initial task, I need to ask for the user. Wait for input. User should be typing something. So this is what it is. Wait for an input. This branch is basically our AI related branch, natural language understanding. When you add this, all these indent slots, slot types and knowledge things coming into picture. So let's ask a proper question here. Instead of what would you like to do, you shouldn't be addressing the customer with an open-ended question in any of the bot flows. So if I openly ask you what would I like to do, you might be interested in many things which I am not even aware. So that I need to ask a proper question. Instead of what would I like to do, I will just click here and I will say, hey, let me copy paste that message I just added here. Okay, so we'll see this. Hi, this is AJ bot. I am here to help you with these two tasks. Okay, I don't have time, means we don't waste time to type it, so I'll copy paste. Sorry. I'll tell you how to add variables, by the way. Right now it's a simple question, simple response. Hi, this is AJ, webinar bot. I am here to help you with, first thing, checking the status of my existing case. So I need to, it's a good idea that I can bold the status of case. So I'm just putting a star over here and star over here. So anything comes under star, it will be bold, like WhatsApp star we usually type in WhatsApp, right? And also connect with an agent. I'm putting a star here. Hello, excuse me guys, please. Vijesh, keep monitor. Guys, I'm getting a lot of background noises. You guys are maybe not taking it seriously, but others are waiting. Kindly please maintain that class decorum. Thank you. All right, so my initial response would be, hi, this is not like this. Webinar bot, I am here to help you with two of the things. One, status of existing case, and then second one is connect with an agent. So let me save this. That's done. So when you have an input like this, wait for an input, that's where all the AI stuff triggers. Okay, it's not like a normal message you are sending. The response to this will be always like a natural language input. Like customer used to say, I wanted to do this, I wanted to do that, those type of things. So that's where we are actually building indents. So indent is the way that you are, indent is an envelope where you are adding your utterances. So let me create an indent. Even before indent, I need to create a task as well here. Okay, so our first task will be, what is my first target? It is like creating a case, right? Here, let me open that again. Come on, yeah. So my first task is checking the case status. So I'm not creating the case, checking the case status. So to address that particular case, I will create another task. And again, I'm not asking you to follow exactly like this. You can build your own flow, but I always dissect these pieces into different small tasks so that it is easy for me to troubleshoot, and any mistake happens in one task, it wouldn't affect the other task, like a microservice architecture development. So I'm going to create a new task. I will name that task as case status check or something in that category. Yeah, case status task. I can put any name, so I'll just copy paste on my notepad, case status task. And again here, no further development. I will simply say, at least to say, where is the send option? This flow can be built after our API integration. So time being, I cannot save it as long as it is an open-ended thing. I'll not be able to save it. So just to say that, I'll say go to communicate, and then I will send a communication saying that you are at case status task. Just for our understanding, I will of course edit this. Okay. Then you disconnect that. Disconnect tool is available here. You go ahead and disconnect it. So you have your first task is ready. Okay. So first task will tell you you are at the case task, and further logic like API connection and everything I will be building here. And I also need one more task, right? Transferring to an agent. Let me create that as well. I didn't discuss about the intent. Don't worry about it. I'll come there. But before that, I'm creating the two tasks which I actually wanted to do. So the second task will be transferring to an agent. So the task name would be this, transfer to agent. Then in that, first I will say, I am transferring to next available agent. Some message should be good for customer, right? So that is available in communicate. I will say, let me transfer to a human agent. Done. So I say a message. Then I need to trigger the transfer where our queue things coming in. So I need to transfer where to a queue where users are logged in. So our queue things transfer will be available in the transfer. You need to select this transfer to ACD option, drag and drop it here. And in here you need to select the queue. So what queue I need? A webinar queue which we created where we have two users, two agents, three agents by the way. And you can send a message, pre-transfer message, but I address that pre-transfer message here in the communicate section. But still, if you wanted to go with only one module, you add that pre-transfer message here saying that I am transferring to. Right now, I don't need anything, so I'll say no value, continue, and no value here.
AJ, in the communication part, along with the text, can we add animations also, like
animation? There is something called animation. I don't think so. There is a communication sequence builder that will have little more additional feature. I didn't test it out, but if I click here, this will go into that. But I can take that. You need animation or images, right?
Emojis, right? Emojis.
Emojis possible, I
Sort
guess.
of,
Yeah, emojis are possible.
like some moving image, kind of like call getting transferred.
Yeah. My answer is logically answering. I'm not 100% sure. It will be possible, but I'll definitely come back with an answer. Okay. Animations in communicate. So after the webinar, it's not like I'm escaping. You can interact with me. All the questions will be answered with best possible knowledge of my. Even if I don't know, I will reach out to someone to get that help. Don't worry about guys. I will answer that question. But I'm capturing it in the side. Okay. So let me transfer, and then there is an error here, right? The red color indicates there is an error, and the error because after transferring to the ACD, there are two possibilities. One, the ACD transfer, it goes to the real agent. Then the disconnect or continue, all those things decided by the agent. But what if it fails due to some XYZ reason it fails? I don't know what exactly reason it fails. It can be a system failure or something, or if there is no agent means it will not fail, but any logical failure which is not in our basic logic, okay, a system error or something that happens, then I can disconnect that. Okay, so let me do a disconnect option here. I'm not putting that under the failure. Anyway, failure will come to the default thing. I don't have anything. The failure will go to the disconnect. So finally it disconnects. This is what it happens. Now I will, I'm not publishing it. Let it be there. Now I am building the second flow first, like the two option will first, because this is the only logic for transferring to a live agent. So let us first experience that, then take a break and back and develop the remaining thing. So this is far easier one, transferring to an agent. So the flow is like communicate, I am transferring you to an agent, then I am selecting the transfer to ACD tool and I am selecting the webinar queue there and then disconnecting the flow. Okay, that's it. Now let's go back to the initial task. So in the initial task, I'm saying, hey, this is webinar. This is where I'm waiting for the natural input. This is the first point in time where user lands in. Once user lands in, the user doesn't know how to go to transfer to agent task, which we need to educate in the form of natural language. So that's where it comes here, called intent. So intent is nothing but it's a place. Intent means what? User will have an intention, right? Everybody will have an intention when they approach a user or a chatbot. So my customer approaching my chatbot with an intention saying that he wanted to talk to an agent. So my intention is that. That is one intention. He also had another intention saying that he wanted to get the case update. So there will be two intentions which we will be addressing today. So let's create the second intention, which is like transferring to an agent. So let's create that intent. I'm saying, sorry. So I'm saying what is my intent? I will put a proper name there. Transfer to an agent intent. I'll copy it from Notepad. Paste it here. Transfer to agent intent. So of course, when that triggers, like for some reason it came to this particular intent, then if it hits the intent, I need to send that to this guy, right? Transfer to agent task. So I need to select my task here. I'm going to select existing. One second. Who is there? Oh, sorry. So I need to select transfer to agent task here. So I have an intent. That's the intention of the user. When that intention triggers, I am transferring that to transfer to agent task. Then it comes to the transfer to agent task here. And in that task, we design the flow in such a way that it should transfer to an ACD. Now, I didn't complete. I just created the intent. Now, once you create the intent, you have to go inside the intent and start creating the utterances. So this is the utterance page. So in the utterance page, in my, the demo thing, we have demo utterances here. I have added, I think, yeah. So transfer me, real agent. These are all example utterances I can add, but I'm just adding few of them, which is available in the flowchart. So that will make more sense. So in the flowchart, it says, we are designing this part, by the way, transfer to agent. This requires the API integration that we will do it. Right now it says live agent, transfer me to a live agent. So let me add those utterances. Live agent, keep hitting enter. Then what else? Live agent, transfer me to an agent. Of course, he also may type 2 option, right? The 2. So let me type here 2. Then what else I have there? Transfer me to live agent. I want to chat with customer care. Transfer me to live agent. I want to chat with customer care. These are the at least 5 utterances you need per intent. Intent is an intention, and utterance is the way that user reacts to that, and then connecting to an intent, eventually connecting to a task. I hope you got that. So first.
But if yeah, AJ, if he says something else apart from this, some other statement, will it still work?
Yeah, it will work.
Like I said, just agent.
Yeah, that's
I'll
where.
suggest agent.
Yeah, so that's where the bot flow customization coming in. I will explain that. Okay, once we build there is a settings option to do that. Time being, it will react in such a way that I don't understand it because it's looking for something which is in this. Since I have given what is the highlighted option there, I highlighted when I was saying that to the user, I highlighted 2 things. One is, let me see that. First option is I highlighted status of existing case. So there are chances that if I give that option, user may type it, status of existing case. And I also given an option called agent. Oh, sorry, status of existing case wouldn't be here. That's the second task, right? Yeah, so deleted. So time being, this is fine. Oh, sorry, which one I deleted? So agent, transfer me to a live agent, transfer me to an agent, live agent. That should be fine for testing. I can keep on adding the intent utterances. That's how I can improve my chatbot over the period of time. And we have something called intent minor, which is here. So intent minor will tell you what are the corner cases. User may be interacting with a different one. Like you said, he is typing AJ. So I can see what are the performance of users input. Then if that makes sense, okay, user is typing something which is not added in the utterances, I can come back and add all the time. So time being for the demo, this is enough. I hope you guys are okay. Then I will say.
Is this case sensitive?
No, yeah, it's no, you can type in even if it is I want to transfer will be I capital I small. It takes both. It understand that. Some logic it may add. You don't need to type in both. If it is like capital agent, small agent, only one agent you need to type in utterances. The system will understand even capital, small. It works. You don't need to add two.
Thank you, sir.
All right. So I added the intents. I have the respective indents, and then
Sorry to interrupt.
yeah. Any question?
Is there any option to do a bulk import with the utterances?
Yes, I think there is a download option available. I haven't tested that. Import from indent minor. Okay, that's something I need to test. 1 sec. There will be option I read somewhere. Bulk. I will answer that later. Okay. Intent import.
So one question.
Yeah.
What is the maximum utterance count for one content intent?
I don't know the limit. I have seen thousands of indents there. We need to go and check the Genesys documentation about indent limit. I don't think there is a limit. It's a natural language, right? There will be thousands of possibilities. So you can keep on adding. It wouldn't stop saying that, okay, you can add only this much indent utterances, not indent utterances. Okay.
100% of the utterance should be matched, right?
I'm sorry?
100% of the utterance should be matched, right?
A kind of a matching will also say it will confirm. There is a percentage of utterance thing. It will confirm saying that, okay, do you mean this? We can try that. Okay. When I simply transfer, I don't have a transfer utterance here, right? It says transfer me to a live agent, transfer me to an agent. If I simply type transfer, it's going to consider that, okay, it might be this. Then it will ask, okay, do you want this? That comes. We'll see that. Okay. So just to make 100% it should be matching. That's the reason I have added 2 here. So normally as a normal common sense, what happens when I chat with a user, if it shows index number 2, I don't wait for anything to type. I'll simply type 2 and hit enter. So that's the reason I have given 2 there. Okay. So I published this. What we have done is we created an intent. That intent has an intention, right? What is the intention? It has to transfer to a task. So it is transferring to a task, which I will show you right now. Go back to the intent. So this intent, when this intent comes, you go to transfer to agent task. How the intent will be triggered? Based on the intent utterances. We have some utterances also configured. So at this point, our bot will be able to transfer the call. So let me log in as an agent. I have an agent login somewhere here in this window. Let me open it. Yeah. This is a live agent. 1 second, I will bring up here. This is a live agent, which is agent 1. Now I can, he needs to go to the queue. Okay. So he's in queue and, oh, somebody already started chatting with me. Who is that? So you guys can unmute. Let me answer from here. Hi. Are you able to get this? Guys, please stop it. I can only handle one chat. Technically, 4 chat will be presented to me. Hello. Yeah. So I'm getting 2 chat. Oh, guys, please stop. Okay. Hi. Okay. So I can disconnect.
But you can control it under utilization,
yeah,
right?
yeah, utilization. There, normally the default value is 2. That means I'll be presented with 4 chat. Default value is 4. 4 chat I'll be presented. 1 call will be presented, but I can control that behavior.
Yeah.
But AJ, the menu is not getting displayed. Whether one or 2, no, that is not getting displayed.
I'll come to that. I'll demonstrate that. You guys please stop chatting with me. I will demonstrate in the call itself. I will behave like a customer and then chat. So when I disconnect the class, disconnect the interaction, I will get the what do you call the wrap-up code there, which we created, and then I can simply select one and I'm disconnecting the chat. Okay. Now, this is what the agent side you demonstrated. Let's do everything together. So this is the customer side and this is the agent side. So customer will see the website, and I think I need to refresh this. Guys, please stop it. If I get a lot of message, I'll not be able to handle.
AJ, one question. Is there any way to get one report, like if my bot is not able to answer something?
It's all available in the interaction flow. There is something called in the interaction flow, you have all the interaction details. If any errors or failures, you can properly monitor that. That will have something. And there is also some logic called data update. Like in every flow, you can update some user data saying that, okay, we reached this point. So that part only available in the interaction details, not in the chat. Like a trigger point. Okay, if it reaches to the transfer, I can hard code something like customer reached to the transfer level. So that type of things I can always build.
Okay. So why I'm asking is, for example, I have configured connect an agent. Okay. So, but someone came and written like connect agent or something. So there is a mismatch. Okay. So I just want that exact mismatch so I can add that sentence in my
that is indent minor, right? Yeah, let me show you that. Let me just demo this and then I will show you. Guys, please don't chat with me. Let me demonstrate this. You guys are not allowing me to go out from the window. But you guys notice one problem, right? Now everybody can chat with me. So will that be a good idea that only when the agent is available to take the chat should be triggered? Right now what happens, all the chat will be in the queue. Okay, the moment the agent logs in, he will be presented with the chat. But what is the real logic? Like when the agent logged in, only take that real-time chats. Rest of the things you say that, okay, agents are not available, please reach us back later, so that my queue will not be full. Right now I'm filling my queue. All you guys are sending the message, everything will be in the queue and I'll be presented with all the messages. There are possibility that is called Genesys Data Action and API. With that, I can pull and see whether the user is actually available or not. Then based on the true or false condition, I can say, okay, if the agent is available, present to the agent, getting into the queue and do things. But if the agent is not even logged in or is not even available, send that to a different somewhere else saying that, okay, agents are not available. But we are not implementing that, by the way, but that is the possibility. We can do that also. Okay, so let me trigger the chat. So I'm going to say hi, then chat triggered. So I'm getting the first inbound message. Oh, it will still not triggered properly. It's going to the previous one. What would I like to do? So I will, this is what I experience when I reopen only when my browser, it works. Private window, save collab. This is my window and this is agent window. It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, we'll take a break after this. Then we'll come back and talk about the other logic implementation and API stuff. At least you are good to develop a bot and then at least bring that bot into the production. That's what you learned at this point. Now we'll see how you build the further logic. It's all about logic. You send some queries, get some data, present to the user. The basic idea and the architectural configurations are already completed. So let me chat. This is a new one. And right now I'll be selecting the second option. I'll trigger the chat by sending hi or hello or whatever. Now bot says it will present the natural language. Hey, is that still showing for you guys as well?
Yeah, it's showing the same thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. One moment. Then somewhere it what happens if I edit and publish? It did not publish well. That's what I believe.
Can we customize the icon that you got that gets displayed on the web page? Like it's like a downward arrow, right?
Yeah, it is. It can be customizable, but for that you need some level of JavaScript knowledge. I didn't try that. I was using the native one, but the script that you got, right, where there are some other customization also available in Genesys documentation.
Okay, thank you.
I should suppose to get this one. Okay. You guys are getting this, or you guys are getting what you like to do? What is that, the response that you get?
What would you like to do?
Oh, you're getting it then. Why I am getting only this thing? You are getting, okay. It should be like, this is AJ webinar bot, and then, yeah, let me publish again. Sometime I have seen when I publish, it says Publish failed.
Is it while publishing what is not available into the backend?
It will be available. The preview version is always available.
Okay.
Yeah, it shows published.
Just in here, I have one question. For example, if we like implemented inside the organization, can this bot authenticate the user? For example, he can chat, "Hi,
I'll come
Abdul."
to that. I can. Yeah. By the way, that is we are designing that hi, the custom message, right? We are doing that. It's there.
No, because it can be like with the CRPM, the user, it can with the database, it can get the pull the data and it can recognize who's chatting.
We are doing it. We are doing it. It'll come.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a part of the webinar itself. By the way, we will be. I'll show you a CRM, right, where we have users available, so it can dynamically fetch the user called range Jasim, and it can address, hey, range Jasim, how are you? So those team I can do. We'll do this. That's a part of the webinar, by the way. So all I'm doing is all I'm doing is I am reaching till here, but my bot is still saying, what would I like to do? This is not I was looking for. Let me just refresh and open once again. But logic is working even if you type agent, it transfers, but only that message is not properly appearing on the chat. Let's quickly try that. Once that is done, then we are confident on developing the additional part. So somebody is chatting with me. You got an option to say that what would I like to do, or you got the menu option like 1 and 2?
So same as you're getting.
Okay. At least the functionality is working, but I need to present proper message to the user saying that, hey, this is bot, and then I can do this.
AJ, do you go inbound for every time we publish the bot flow?
No, it takes the, there is a good point to check in, but it takes the latest one. I'll show you.
Now it's working.
Yeah, and it's
I
working,
think
right?
it's working now.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's a matter of time. Yeah, but there was a question, by the way. We need to update the inbound flow every time when you update the bot flow. Technically, no, because if you go to the inbound flow, there is an option, always take the latest version of the bot flow. So let me go back to my inbound message. Guys, please don't chat with me right now. Okay, so this is my inbound message, webinar inbound message. So there is a section to transfer to the bot flow, right? When I transfer to the bot flow, I am selecting you go and transfer to the latest version. This is how it is, version. By default, it goes to the published latest version. But if you wanted to control that, you can manually select. As long as you are keeping it default, it goes and dynamically fetches the latest version of the bot flow. Hope that makes sense.
Before publishing, can we test the flow in any other different environment?
There is usually what happens, we create a UAT environment. Like I don't create a live bot. I normally create a demo bot and host everything properly. Then I start testing it. Once that is done, I will replicate the flow into the real one. Or Genesys Developer Toolbox. There is a website called Genesys Developer Tools. It has a lot of functionalities to test this way but without publishing, I don't think so. Yeah, you can somehow test it. I did not try that, but it is possible. Okay, so where are we? Where is my message flow? And I need to demonstrate, right? Digital bot flow. Let me keep that here. And then now I'll initiate a chat. So this is where we implemented the natural language stuff. Let us test it. I'm sorry about my website performance today. It was not like this since yesterday. Hi. And hey, for me it is still getting. How about you guys? What are you getting?
Me also, it's same. What would you like to do?
But someone said they are getting the other menu.
Yeah, same.
No,
When you
it's
type agent, what would you like to do? You just type agent. Then
That will
after that,
transfer.
Then it transfer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that logic is actually working. Would you like to? Okay, mine is going a different way. Okay, one moment, please. I will put you through. Yeah, this is a different, the exceptional task it is taking. So some logic error is there. We'll see. Okay. So webinar bot flow. Current version is 3. Let us look into the initial task. So initial task. I'm getting chat messages from you guys. Let's hold on for some time. I will sort it out. Otherwise, it'll be keep on alerting me in the window. I will just quickly review what is the flow that we designed. So in the initial task, we are waiting for the user input. That is correct. And then we have a a task for transferring the agent. I'll go to transfer the agent. It says okay. And now, okay, we can test the indents, by the way. There is something called test NLU. So I'll say 2. When I say 2, it says transfer to the agent indent. It's actually worked. And why? Also live agent also taking it. So it also transferring. So the logic is working, but just that the prompt which supposed to get, it's not properly delivered. Guys, please don't send me.
Looks like the initial message. It's not getting through the initial message.
Yeah. We'll address that. Don't send me anything. I will figure out where exactly this is coming up here. So that's the thing. Okay, it should task initial task. Okay, yeah. Oh, I think we missed something. So let's go back and check the initial task. See, we didn't modify the initial task. Actually, from the I think I did something I did not save. It is reaching here, but I need to bridge, right? This initial task I don't want. Okay, what I need is from the initial task, once it reaches, I actually need to go to my initial task which I created. So that's where it is coming in. So let's do it. So on the initial task, I am here. Okay, this is not the initial task which I am looking for. I need control here. So from the initial task, usually it comes here. I'm going to transfer to, I did that actually, if I remember correctly, jump to a reusable task. And then what task I need to transfer? The initial task. So it comes here, then instantly go to the initial task. In the initial task, I am waiting for the agent input. I'm sorry about that mistake, guys. So let us publish this. Now the bot gonna react in a proper way. Previously there was 2 input, right? Waiting for input and then another waiting for input. So it's stuck at the initial waiting for input. As long as it sees waiting for the input, it start triggering the indents. Okay, it try to match the indent and match the state, the respective task. That's what it happened. It didn't come to the initial task. From the initial greeting itself, it transferred. Okay. Now let's try testing.
We required here the version change.
No.
It's working.
Because it's like.
Yeah. No need version change. It's fine. It is live. Guys, I will test it out. I will give you an option to test on your side because this is a live session, right? Everyone should experience that feel. Don't send me messages, please. I will demonstrate it. So again, real flow. I didn't refresh. I deleted it. So I'll initiate a task called hi. And it first go to the input message. Yeah, now it came, right? Because it goes to the initial and then it gives me the 2 option. So as a human, you think about, you are just like a normal human being, you are interacting with the bot. Naturally, when I present with this 2 option, I simply type 2. Or I can also type, there is a bold character there called agent. Guys, please stop it. This is not my message, okay? Somebody else is trying. You guys, hold on. Give a second. We'll do it. Oh, you guys don't give me an opportunity to do that, please. Guys, don't test it out. I will test it. Then I will give you an opportunity to test. This is the reason I should implement a lot of authentication mechanism, which I will talk about that. So I'm simply typing agent. It's a natural language input. If it matches, do you want to speak? Do I have a utterance called agent? No, I don't think so. I didn't add the utterance agent. What utterance I have? Let me just double confirm my utterances.
I think you added that.
Is it? Okay, let's confirm. Transfer to an agent. Agent is there. Okay, but it is getting confused. So let's try a live agent. I'll tell you why it is getting confused. There is an exception handling thing, which I will cover but time being, let us test the flow with live agent. I'm going to input live agent or the digit 2. Okay, I don't want test with 2, I need to test with live agent. Hi, and live agent. So they are saying if you want a live agent, transfer to live agent. Do you want to speak to an advisor? Why for me it's getting this way? What if I put 2 there? How are you guys testing? Is it like you are entering just 2 only there? Yeah, currently somebody is chatting. What is the input? Yeah, I can see that. Let me transfer to an agent. Yeah, you type 2. Okay, so let's test 2 here. 2. Yeah, let us test 2. Let's test with 2, and I'll also address the other exception. It's not transferring in a proper way, right? Hi, and then typing the thing with 2. So let me transfer to a human agent. That's the message which we give, and I got transferred here. So this is the left hand side is the agent window, right hand side is the customer window. Hello, how can I help you? You can see that bubble thing, right, when somebody is typing. So I am looking for some transaction issue. So it goes on. Okay, new messages coming in, I can support, then finally I can disconnect, or agent can disconnect. Sorry, the customer can disconnect. I disconnect here and giving a wrap-up code and finishing it up. Now I will also test the other option, why it is not moving there. So my utterances, again we will review what are the utterances we give. Agent is there, so it should work with this utterance, agent. Or let me try this, transfer to a live agent. Okay, so that's the utterance I'm going to try. So I'll say hi. Then it's going to present with the options. I'll say transfer to a live agent. Want to speak? Okay, when I say that this utterance is not actually taking, it's not triggering the task. This is an exception. What you want to speak to an advisor. This is a default exception. When I say yes, it wouldn't transfer actually. One moment, I'll put you through. It stops there. To do this exception transfer, I need to do that on the inbound flow, which we will go, but I wanted to see why it is not actually taking the intent. So we'll go back, intent, and this is the intent which you are testing. So you have a proper thing. Okay, we'll build the remaining portion. Finally, we will figure it out. But since we are here, the option, right, when the bot is failing to do some transfer, it say you want to speak to an advisor, is that correct? So that will be available here. Not here in the, where is it? Somewhere in the settings it is there. Event handling, yeah. Sorry, error required is, okay. You want to speak to an advisor, is that correct? Then one moment, I will put you through. So it is already taken care by the event handling. Since the agent is not, sorry, the bot is not able to understand the intent, but it should be understandable, right? We didn't do any mistake, but we will wait for some time. So if it is correct, it has to go to the proper task, which we see when I enter 2, it is going. But when I enter the natural language, it's not actually going. We will address it. But this is an exceptional condition. If the user is typing something and the bot is not able to understand, it's going to ask, you wanted to speak to an advisor, is that correct? When I say yes, one moment, I'm going to transfer, but it's not transferring. So where is the transfer coming in? So when I reach this point saying that, okay, one moment, I will put you through, that moment is the place that the bot flow will hand over that to my message flow. So it goes back to the inbound message flow. So in the inbound message flow, if I have an option to transfer to the same agent, in the exceptional case, that will work. So let us build that exception now. In the inbound message flow, this is a message flow. Right now we don't have that, right? It just transfers and forget. But when it forgets, there is a chance that it's going to come back here. Initial task, call task, and this is the transfer. So it's going to transfer to the ACD, right? But before disconnect, it's going to, when the bot flow fails, it comes to this point again. Okay. And it starts from the place it's transferred. So this is the point we transfer to the bot flow. When the bot is having an exception, it comes back to this particular arrow mark. So in that arrow mark, it's a good practice that I need to do one more agent transfer. So in the exception also, it goes to the agent. So let's do that. Then all our exception will be handled. So gonna do transfer to ACD, and then select the queue, webinar queue. So once it is done, again, it is end of that, right? There is no point of disconnection there. Disconnection will happen at the agent side. So I have a chat flow, board flow calling here. When the board flow fails due to XYZ reason, then it comes back to the inbound message flow. But in that message flow itself, and again, okay, you go, there is an exception handle, exception occurred. You need to talk to the agent again, live agent again. So I can publish this, then we'll test it. So in my exception also, it's gonna come to a real agent. But I still don't understand why the exception triggers in first place. It shouldn't trigger because our language inputs are fine. I'll also update few more indents in the, this is our message flow. 10:30 we will wind up, we will stop it for our break. Another 5 more minutes. Webinar message flow, sorry, I need to go to digital flow. Go to architects. And digital board flow, webinar board flow. I have pretty good indents here, but I will just fine tune few more indents. What else I can go? I have some examples indent here. Okay, I will take it out. This start a chat with an agent. This is one indent. Connect me to a chat agent. Pretty good. This is fine. You can always test that NLU input from here. Just select the test NLU and then type your utterances there. For me, it's showing a proper task. It is getting triggered for the agent transfer task. But when I test it real time, it has some problems. So we'll see. So again, going on. My agent is in the left-hand side and customer is in the right-hand side. Type hi. And I'm going to say, connect me to chat agent. Yeah, let me transfer to human agent. Now it has taken the indent. Okay, I'll test a few more indents. Then I will also trigger an exception.
AJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are saying about intent and utterance, right? So
Yes.
both are same or?
No, indent is the intention, right? When all together with an utterance, I can reach one indent. So you can say, I want to speak to an agent, I want to transfer to an agent, talk to an agent. All those things are your utterances. All those utterances are clubbed together into one indent. What is the intention? Finally, talking to an agent or chatting with an agent. That's your intention. So intent is like an intention. To do that intention, what are your input? You can talk to me in different languages, different ways, right? All those different ways are called utterances. Who is testing it out, guys?
Okay, thank you.
Who is testing it out? Let me know if you got proper responses for all those things. Let me test once again. So I need to delete this, then chat again. By the way, you can also transfer when the first iteration completes. You can again transfer to the initial task. I will show you that. So it goes back to the initial phase again without even you closing this and opening it again. So those are the logic which we yet to address. Hi and welcome to AJ Lam. Okay, so I'll type agent now. Okay, when I type agent, this is not my chat, by the way. So when I type agent, it shows you want to speak to an advisor. It triggers, I don't know why it is triggering. It shouldn't happen, but we will test finally. It is triggering an exception. I am giving yes option to it. Then one moment, I'll put you through. I got this one here, right? Only because it went back to the inbound message flow. And then from here, I can chat, right? This is working. The new one is somebody else. So it's a good thing that I need to, yeah, guys, please stop the notification. I will fine tune that utterance and then we'll break it for dinner. Please disconnect all your chat, please. Otherwise, I need to go and put something. Don't chat again. So I believe when the indents are a small symbol terms, it's not accepting somehow. So I will customize it in a different way that it has 2 or more characters. Okay. So again, this is my indent edit page. So I will remove the agent from there. But exception is triggering, by the way. It is again still finally transferring to an agent. Oh boys, please don't do this. Don't do this. Is not your time to test it. I will test it. If this happens, I will do one thing. I will host a website internally and then I'll start presenting there so that you guys cannot access it. All I want is like a real experience. So I delete the agent intent. Then I also, okay, let's keep the live agent. Okay, I'll remove live agent also. So now these are my indents. Okay, so publish it. Transfer me to live agent. So that's one of the intent that should work. I'm going to test that. Transfer me to a live agent intent.
Health status showing okay. Is it okay? Yeah, it should be green or something like that.
Which one? That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. The health status, right? That if you have multiple indents and overlapping, they're going to do some health comparison. We have only one intent, which we'll be creating second one. But if you have an overlapping intent, that will alert you there is some health issue. So that okay should be fine. But that will be green when you have a lot of indents, like all possible options. Now, all I'm typing is a proper, I'm copy pasting an indent utterance from here. Transfer me to a live agent. This is what I'm going to ask the bot. Okay. For some reason, mine is always triggering the exception. So exception will also go there, by the way, if I click yes, and then they're going to transfer. And of course, I'm getting the alert. We'll see that error, by the way. I will address that. There should be some error in the flow.
AJ, sorry to ask.
Yeah.
Is there something in that slot assignment? I can see a drop down there.
Slot is for the input, which we will collect next. Like ask for slot, there is a concept because I need to collect the customer input. It's not for slot. Time being, the only logic what we designed is a small intent. The intent, you have the natural language inputs. Once it matches, it's going to trigger the intent. Based on the intent, it's going to trigger the case, the transfer to agent task. A simple logic. But it's working. The option 2 is working, right? We can test further things. So let's do one thing. Yeah, before going to the break, I also wanted to show you something. By the way, I am conducting a Genesys detailed training in August 5th. So in that, these are the topics which you're going to cover. If you guys are interested, you can learn furthermore. This particular example is just one topic in that training. I designed the training in 3 different sections. So in the first section, we're going to see Genesys Cloud CX, administration, implementation, and reporting. That covers all your agent configuration, user configuration, all type of things like site, telephony, edge, trunk, cloud architect, ACD queues, queue we created, then in-queue call flow, common module flow, security components, supervisory tool, all these administrative type of things. Then the second section, we're gonna start about Genesys Cloud integration with other things like integration with Postman tool. By the way, we have opened one Postman. I'll show you this one today also. How you implement a Postman API towards some third-party API. Then advanced platform API. Then there are a lot of API offered by Genesys itself. I was talking to you, right? An agent availability, right? How you can actually check whether agent is ready, then only route the call. This is one logic. These are all platform API. Then we're going to integrate with Amazon Polly, which is a text-to-speech engine. If you have a voice call, then instead of you are recording the prompt, you can use Polly, which is like an Amazon next generation text-to-speech. We can integrate that. Then we're going to integrate Salesforce CRM. Then integrating with SQL database. See, Genesys natively not offering any SQL integration. It only supports API. And SQL does not support API. SQL need SQL commands. So you need a middle guy who can translate that API command into SQL command. So you will be designing the entire middleware development. By the way, since we are here, I can show you that middleware stuffs as well. So this is like, yeah, the scenario is like you are calling the customer care through the chatbot or IVR. You can reset your debit card pin. So to do the entire flow, you need to build an API request coming into a web server. I'll be using the same web server for that. That's my middleware server. In that, you will have some mechanism to reset the debit card pin. So for example, details, reset, authenticate, yeah, debit card pin update. So I'm going to trigger an API. It's going to hit this particular PHP file. Don't worry about this. I'm going to literally teach you how you develop this part. This is a middleware API development. Then it can talk to the actual SQL database where it can update some pin number. So it's like self-service debit card pin reset. So for that, we need Salesforce CRM integration in one place, so it can identify the user is registered or not. Then it needs to go and update in a database. So these are the level we are going in terms of integration. Then when we come to the remaining part, we're addressing developer tools, multi-factor authentication with the Twilio Verify API. So I will address this, this one I will show you at the last. Okay, there was some question asked by someone, right, how to authenticate. So there is a guy, my friend, he recently showed me about a Twilio option. His name is Sai. He might be attending this. And then he helped me to set up that Twilio authentication. So when a user chats, it gets the registered mobile number. Then I need to make sure that, okay, this is the same guy or not. So I will send an OTP, which I will demonstrate today. So I'll send an OTP to the user saying that, okay, this is OTP, you please authenticate. So that's the level of integration we are doing. Then we are discussing about secure call flows, advanced agent scripting. When it comes to advanced agent scripting, somebody was asking the agent scripting. There is an agent scripting option here. Agent script.
What is the difference between Genesys CX and Genesys Pure Cloud? Is it
Pure Cloud is the old selling model. Right now they rebranded as Genesys Cloud CX.
Okay.
It's more or less the same. 1 second, I am going to show you something. Data action script. Yeah. So it's not like a small basic script we are developing. We are actually developing a complete advanced scripting. All these things that you currently see, right? The web interface. These are the things presented to the agent when a new call comes in. It's going to say at what queue it is coming in, who is the caller, whether he is a premium user or not. And then what is his case, previous case opened, it's going to pull from the Salesforce CRM. And if I wanted to add a comment to the case, I don't need to go to the CRM or the Salesforce. I can add a comment from here. And I can also open, if it's a new user calling you for opening a new case, I can literally open the case from here. So these are the type of integration we are implementing on the scripting side. So it's not a small script where I am displaying only the basic stuff. It's an advanced script. We're going to cover that as part of the second section. Then developing middleware API, which I already addressed, I'll show you. Then Genesys data action that we will also see today. What is data action? Then Azure AD based or Intra ID based SSO login. That's the second portion. And the third module will talk about conversational AI and web chat based web messaging. By the way, web messaging we are exploring currently. Then Genesys AI with Gen AI, generative AI with Genesys AI, that natural language stuff in Genesys. Then advanced digital flows. This is one of the sample flow I'm explaining to you, but I will also show you 2 of the flows which is already developed. Then how to develop all those type of things. AI chatbots, voice bot. We can also develop voice bot. Then knowledge base articles, like if you have a knowledge base article using Agent Assist Copilot, when a user says something, okay, I wanted to know how to reset my password, I can pop up some data article in front of the agent saying that, okay, user is asking this, this is your document, you read this. So that's what Agent Copilot Assistant, that we're going to cover. Then recording and transcript, how to do that transcript and recording. Basic dialog flow bot, like how to develop Google dialog flow bot, but that will be a basic bot in the dialog flow because we are not exploring dialog flow so much. But I'll also cover how to integrate that dialog flow bot into Genesys Cloud. Then also Amazon Lex is another bot building tool, Amazon Lex, how to integrate Amazon Lex into the Genesys interface. And also the predictive engagement, like if you are browsing in a website and you are moving your mouse around, it's going to dynamically detect, okay, this user might be interested in this product, then offer you a chat saying that, okay, would you like to interested in this? This is called predictive engagement. So we're going to cover everything. It's an advanced Genesys contact center training. It starts from the basic and go to the all advanced topic until the way to chatbots and other things. It's going to start on August 5th. My fee gonna be 20,000. You will literally get all the recording on the same day itself. If you wanted to know more about the training details are available here. Who can attend, who can enroll, what are the type of things which we're gonna enroll, and what are the requirements. Technically no requirement, anyone can attend. So I'm gonna send this document over chat right now. So go through it. Once you feel comfortable, once you're okay with this, there are some demo videos also. Like this is not Genesys demo video, it's my YouTube channel. There are some videos available there. You can go and experience how I usually teach. It will be like this interactive session. You get your all queries answered and other things, and we will have a continuous thing and things like this. Let me show you this. Like Google Dialogflow, this is Google Dialogflow CX. We're going to develop some bot like this, and it's going to interact with the Genesys. Also Amazon bot, this is Amazon bot development interface. You can also develop something here. Then Twilio OTP service, which I will demonstrate today. Twilio, how you can do Twilio OTP service. These type of things we're gonna cover as part of that training. So if you really feel like going to the latest trending technology in the market, we know that what is Genesys and where it is going, where the contact center and telephony career is going. This is where the world is going on now. Please attend that. It's on August 5th, and I started accepting the enrollment. You guys can message me on my number and I will guide you how to enroll for that. And it's gonna be 20,000 for the fee, and if you refer someone, there'll be 2,000 reduction on your fees. Okay, so interested, please ping me. So let's do any questions about the training, guys? So in this training, whatever is covered here, that is what we are doing right now, this particular topic. Okay, this will be a repetition there as well.
Ajay, the plan was different, right? I mean, with the Amazon Connect.
There's a small slight change in the plan. The plan was Genesys, Amazon Connect, and WebEx Contact Center. But the reason I have taken, if I am taking that way, I can only cover this portion, which is an administrative section. I thought instead of going the administrative part, like anybody can develop a IVR queue and send the call there, right? That's not the contact center learning in my point of view. It has to have a lot of integration. So if I cover all this integration with all other two products, we will not reach even 3 months to complete that section. So that's the reason I took Genesys having more popularity, and I showed you that Genesys position in the Gartner quadrant also, right? So that's where Genesys is. I took, instead of 2 additional modules, I went advanced in the Genesys itself with the integrations and API, which usually people are lagging behind. Even in the Genesys official training, they never talk about these 2 things. These will be always hidden from any of the training which I have experience. Even in the Genesys, they provide official training. They don't cover about the integration. They will say we support API, but we don't do it. But if you look at my training, I also give the ebook. This is the complete syllabus and ebook. We're going to cover all those stuff. Let me come to some interesting section where this is like administrative portion. Let's go to CX management, trunk. Where is the API stuff? Using architect flows, AWS integration. Yeah, variables in architect flow. Everything will be proper flow diagrams and other thing. How you actually get a flow with a proper screenshot. By the way, even if you don't have, I will provide lab access for during the training after 1 month of the training. But say for example, maybe after 4 months you have an interview, you still can refer this document. This will literally give you what are the options we are doing in the flow, how you design the drag and drop flow with all highlights, then participant data action flow, data table configuration flow. What else? Where is API? Yeah. So starting from API, how you can interact and configure your postman and send queries to Genesys and get the responses and implement those type of responses in your flows. Genesys Cloud data actions and integration, Salesforce CRM integration, signing up for Salesforce. Even I am doing something on the Salesforce, like how you create some users, do some basic management of Salesforce. Then the integration part, administration part, and Salesforce API, how to work with Salesforce API, how you literally understand how you can authenticate with Salesforce API, what is OAuth, and what else? Genesys Cloud data action. Yeah, this is like create a case by contact ID. Like I can literally create a case using API. Like same example, agent can user can chat and ask the agent to, not agent, as the robot to open a case. The case will be opened. Then web chat is like oldest form of the chat, but it never handle APIs and other things. Then Genesys AI, the complete bot we are building, right? This is an example, but I have 4 tasks here. I have taken 2 tasks from this bot and then developing in the webinar. So that will be there. Then getting started with Google Dialogflow, how you can sign up for Google Dialogflow and build a small API, small bot there, and eventually integrate that. Then supervisory tools and integration, supervisory tools even, how to develop a complete interface like this, the monitoring interface. Where is it? Yeah.
Can we do the outbound call campaigning?
Yeah, that is also there. Yeah, outbound campaign is also there. The document is not full. I'm still working on it. We have 1 more month, right? So I'm going to cover everything. You will get access to this document, and every day basis you will get access to the same recordings when we complete the classes. So it'll be a fun oriented training. Interested guys can talk to me or chat with me. All right.
Do we have
With the
lab?
lab.
Yes.
Sorry.
Sorry. With the lab, you said will we have access even to Salesforce and those
Yeah,
things?
Salesforce anybody can set up, right? You just need an email address. That's it.
Oh,
so
okay.
here.
And what about the WFM, Abdul?
Yeah, it's there. WFM is there. WFM, QM, it's all there. It's all a part of our initial administration section itself. That will be there. So entire thing inside Genesys is covered. Yeah, scripting. I showed you one agent script, right? It is there. Advanced scripting is there. So advanced agent scripting.
Lab
Yeah, this is about the lab. Lab access during the training and post 1 month of the training, you will get access to it. You can.
Yeah, I have just one question over here.
Yeah.
With the same, okay, it will help us like in for the like Cisco contact center or Vex contact center.
Yeah. So the second two portions, right? Yeah. Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So these two things coming in all contact center. Okay. Integration. Once you understand how an API works, how you can integrate with that API, even if you replace Genesys with Web Contact Center, Five9 Contact Center, or any other contact center, it is almost the same way. Just that it is like you know how to drive a manual car and you got an automatic car. You need to fine tune something. You still know driving, but at least the gearbox, how to handle that. You need a small push. That's the thing. That's easy it is. But wherever you go,
the same like for the configuration, little bit for the like on premises also, on premises contact center.
I am not a fan of on-premise contact center. The on-premise contact center, when I say UCCX, UCC, and Avaya stuff, right? The UCCX, it's little hard to implement all these things. You always need a middle server there. You cannot straight forward send, though there is, but you need a lot of customization in on-premise stuff. But I'm not a fan of on-premise. If you're looking for on-premise, you always need a developer support to implement these type of things. But when it comes to cloud, you only understand the APIs and like some 30-40% the development, which I will cover as part of the training, like development of API.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Thank you.
And these two things will always be the same. Integrations and the extra technology will be the same, even if you take any other contact center. So first we will learn the entire Genesys, then we'll move on to the industry standard thing. All right. Any questions about training?
Yeah. So this will be for this year, right?
Okay, I have one question.
Yeah.
Previously, you mentioned that Genesys, Amazon, and WebEx will be covered.
I told you the reason, right? So instead of going for 3 contact center and only talking about the administrative
this will be
part,
covered in a detailed way. So you are taking it separately.
Yes.
So how about the remaining Amazon?
Once you learn all these things, Amazon can be covered in 1 day and WebEx can be covered in 1 day. We all will meet another free webinar just like this. You guys come, we will meet. I will cover the introductory part of the Amazon Connect as well as WebEx. It's a matter of 2-3 hours.
Is there any plan like separately you will be taking Cisco WebEx?
I had that plan initially, right? But when I complete all these things, it was like we need to another 6 months to complete all the syllabuses. So that's the reason I went only Genesys with a deep. But we can have a free webinar. I will not charge you for anything. You come for the free webinar. I will introduce the WebEx administrative part. Most of the things will be similar. Okay, you develop a queue, create some user, and then do the flows. Bot building and other stuff is almost similar. So we can have free webinar for at least maybe 1 webinar for WebEx and another webinar for Five9 or whatever, Amazon Connect, whatever stuff. So right now, only focus on the Genesys part. Reason being, they are number 1 and they are the only one in the planet who is number 1 this capability.
So this webinar which you're talking about, the Amazon Connect and the WebEx part, so that will be only for the people who will be enrolling for this?
No, that will be free. This webinar is for free for everyone, right? Just like that, it's free for everyone. You can attend.
So, but that will be like covering just like how you are covering this Genesys Cloud, the first part, right? Same level you will be covering, or it's
Same
maybe
level
like
we cannot finish it in one day, right? But you will be confident at least to work with that. So end of the day, it's all a web product. You can log in and explore few things yourself. You only need assistance like how you do these things, how you do that thing. That part I will cover. Further, we can refer the documentation, or if you guys are planning for a specific training, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. Like in a week, we can do a fast track training for WebEx contact center, and maybe next week we can do something else. That is also possible. Those options are open. We will address that later.
Okay.
So this August 5th is a bit late, right? Is there a plan to push?
Yeah, this training was initially planned for May, but I met with an accident in May 3rd. My shoulder bone and pelvic bone got fractured. Right now also I cannot walk. I am walking with the help of this guy. So somehow I'm managing. I'm not able to sit for a long time also. So just to deliver the training in a proper energy, I need 1 more month proper rest. So I cannot fast track it, means I cannot prepone it. It will be only on August 5th. I need 1 more month to recover completely.
Understand. Good luck.
Yeah.
So, AJ, this is your contact number, right? On the chat?
Yeah, that's my contact number.
To reach you?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll send you this one in the group right now. So let's do one thing. If questions are over, we'll break it for dinner. We'll come back and develop the further flow.
Just in one thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Architects, we are going deeper.
I'm sorry?
Architect a point, we are go for in the deeper, like all the call flow, how can do the
Yeah,
part
it's
and
I
everything,
show you
right?
some example. Right? It's not a simple call flow. Let me just show you one more thing. Okay, since you asked about it.
So like that is like the critical. This is very simple, right? When
Yeah.
the sub menu, like
Yeah,
kind
just
of,
do this way. In the same website, you go to bot2.html. I'll demonstrate in front of you guys. So bot2.html is another bot I have deployed. Then let's chat with that and experience how that flow is designed there.
my concern is not only per chat, but it's like the common, like in bound, outbound call flow.
Yeah,
In deep, like
those
in
are.
the course. I'm talking in the course. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
talking
it's
the,
covered. It's
today's
covered.
webinar.
It's covered.
Okay.
So what is outbound? Yeah, outbound dialing is properly covered. So it's all comes the part of this thing. So if you ask me, since you asked, okay, I'll show you just one example. There is one bot I have deployed here. For some reason, that guy is not. This is, by the way, this is called chat, the chat interface, but it's like one-to-one chat. Instantly, it triggers an agent. That's it. No logic of something other stuff. I'm not interested in this part. So we'll go to the actual chat. Come on.
How long is the break now?
How much you guys need? 30, 15 or 30 minutes?
Yeah, at least 15 minutes minimum.
Yeah, 15 would be fine. Now it is almost 11 o'clock in India. Yeah. So let's come back around 11:15. Before going there, I'll just show you this guy. I wanted to show you something badly, but he's not loading it up. It's because of the private window.
Abdul, we will later talk about that one.
Yeah, so once we come.
Help. If you allow, I can share our screen and then.
Yeah, please do it. Let me stop the sharing. Let us test it with yours. You share the screen, and yeah.
Can you?
For example, in between, if someone is away for 1 week, so they can watch the recording.
Yes, yeah. That my training is not like a student-trainer relation. Even after the training, if you miss one point in time, you will have the recording for lifetime access. You can always reach out to me. I'll be there to support you. As long as you're learning what are the scope you are paid for, I will be there to support you. And also, we have a community group. A lot of guys who are attending this webinar, they are all my ex-students. They understand how I deal with them even after the training. I have a track record of maintaining that decorum, so don't worry about that. Even you drift apart, I will be there to guide you in future.
Yeah, because I will be away in August month for 1 week. So
no problem, no problem. You have the recordings and assistance from my side. So you can record, share your screen and show me that second bot, which all will experience, and we'll go for.
I have raised the hand up.
We are also doing the morning batch and night batch.
Only one batch. I cannot handle morning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, can you share the screen?
I'm not able to share as a host and co-host can only share the screen. I think so.
Oh, okay.
Settings need to change or.
Okay, one second. Who is chatting with me now? One moment, I'll share it again, or I'll give you the control. Okay, by the way, in my website itself it came, so I can share back.
Notice.
Yeah, so let me share my screen. Let me know if it is visible. Is it visible, guys?
Yes, Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So there is a
Yes.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So there is a small bot which I deployed here, which is also similar, but I'll show you the capabilities here. So when I chat with that bot, it can do the same thing which we are defining now, like interacting with an agent or um, uh, getting a case update, but it also can do an authenticated flow. Let me show you that authenticated flow. So to experience that, you guys can also experience, and this will also see whether my agent is available or not, only when it triggers that notification to the agent. It's not like everyone can chat, only agent available, it can send the trigger. So initiated by sending hi. So it has 3 options. Checking the case status, connect with a live agent, but I'm going to test the third option, test OTP experience. So you can also try from your end. So I'm going to say third option. Then you have an OTP, you have selected an OTP experience. We will send you an OTP now for the authentication. Please enter your mobile number in E164 format. Let me enter my number. You guys can test with your number. Okay. So I am going to literally get an OTP. It's saying you have entered this mobile number. Is that correct? Yes. And OTP generated and delivered to your number. Please enter the OTP. So I wait for the OTP. I got the OTP here. It says your AJ Lab OTP service verification code is this thing. I don't know whether you can see or not. Let me just enter that OTP code here. 847289. Now it says you have entered OTP. OTP verification success, and that's it. It came back. So this is just an experience of the OTP.
Will send it to on the mobile number, right?
Yeah, it's literally an SMS. I can also send to WhatsApp as well. This is an SMS right now. We have integration with the Twilio. There is a service in Twilio called Verify. So we're going to trigger that API call to Twilio, get that OTP generated, send it to the mobile. Sending to the mobile will be handled by Twilio. And once I see the OTP, again, I'll be entering it, right? So once I enter it, it's going to trigger another API call to Twilio, then validate, okay, we send this OTP and is that the same thing which user is entering? If that matches, it's going to go to the next one, next flow, but I don't have anything to next. I just need to show you the authentication part. So here, if I'm checking the case status, let me show you one example. I'm pressing one option, which is checking the case status. And what is your contact number? Again, +919495863708.
So here is like your phone number is in the database, right?
Yes, phone number is in the database. So you have entered.
It's a match, then it's a continuous work. Otherwise, it's
it says
like
you are not a registered
another
user.
option.
Yeah. So I selected case status check. For that also they are sending me an OTP. So I got the second OTP, which is 512467. Now let's see. OTP verification success. Your case number. It pulled the case number and it's giving me the case update. We are checking with the backend team for the issue and we will connect you with an update. So if you look at this case number, I have a Salesforce CRM here. This is the same CRM I am using. You will literally see that case over there. Go to the cases and I have a case number here, transaction decline, and the last comment I have added here that we are checking with the backend team and the issue. This is what the agent, means the bot is also seeing. Okay, again it is asking, do you want to go back to the beginning? When I click yes, it goes back. So here in this flow, we are developing the similar thing, but I also incorporated the verification part in this. Right now we are developing this without a verification, like anybody can check the status as long as you are a registered number. So once you are a registered number, you can check, but here registered number plus an OTP verification for the number, because when you know my registered number, you can also interact the same and trigger the same thing, right? But this will stop that only when you enter the OTP, it further flows. Otherwise it says, okay, an OTP is failure, blah, blah, blah stuff. So again, chat with an agent, connect with an agent only available when the actual agent is available to take the calls. So somebody is sending a chat with me.
It is. So one thing, like, this database which you're talking about, right, that is moreover like a CRM database, right?
I have two integration in the real class. One is CRM, but think about some credit card numbers like a bank scenario. They will not keep the confidential information in CRM. CRM is just for customer record manager. They only manage the customer details. What is your number, like a contact? What is your email address? Those are the things pulled from the CRM, also the registered number. Then when I update my backend data like a credit card number, credit card CVV or credit card PIN number, it wouldn't be stored in a CRM. It will be always in a confidential database. So we covered that integration as well. Take something from CRM and update something from the data, private database. That's how a normal enterprise usually works.
Okay, thanks.
Cool, guys. So any other questions about training? So you guys can experience this one. You go to board 2. By the way, I also added that board reference link in our training document. So if you go to the last, there is something called bot experience. Experience the fully functional other bot. Bot 1 is one type that also you can experience, but that requires a registered number. This is the registered number you can give as a sample. Then the bot 2 is this one, the one which you see, the OTP related service, that you can test with your own number. You select third option, input your number and experience that. All right. So those all type of things will be available in the training. Once you understand API, it's a matter of implementation. Anybody can do these type of things. It's not a complicated one. And I will make it simpler. Anybody can understand APIs and other thing. So after the break,
we will do the practice this one once we are joining the lab.
Yes, yeah, you get the lab access and you get assistance from me as well. As a you have a document
we
also.
Can build the lab on our own lab or no?
You will get access to the lab. Getting our own lab, it's a little tricky in Genesys, but the same lab which I am doing, right, you guys will have access to. So I'll create a logical separation. When students join, you won't see any of mine, but when I join, I can see your configuration. But answer is you will get your own access. You can do things. Okay, so a small update for what we're going to
the division is separate each student, right?
Yes, right. So after the break, we're going to take 15-minute break from 11 to 11:30 Indian time. So once we come back, we're going to do Salesforce integration. That will be the real fun. How you work with API, then work with the Salesforce API, then build the complete flow. That's the next core portion of the webinar. So see you on 11:15. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, AJ.
Thank you.
Thank you, AJ.
Yeah.